Chapter 1, I went to lunch with the school beauty. September 20th, 2022. Shanghai, Huaqing University. The drowning of Mu Xinxi, the school beauty and art major, has attracted attention. The students rushed to the scene nonstop, and in addition to seeing the beautiful school beauty pass out, they actually saw a handsome young man glued to her side. Wait, who is the person lying next to the school beauty? He's so handsome. Does our college have such a handsome guy? He's even more handsome than the readers of Tomato. His appearance is even better than that of my Huaqing Wu Yanzu, but why are they lying together? Both men and women were in a state of shock. The medical staff had already arrived and hurriedly carried the people away, and the girls watched them leave reluctantly. The end. No way. Ding. The system has been successfully installed. Yi Fan suddenly heard a strange sound. What's going on? Who's talking? Yi Fan opened his eyes with difficulty. He found himself in a hospital, confused. Yi Fan remembered that a girl had fallen into the water, so he jumped into the lake to save her, but he fainted after pulling the girl to shore due to lack of strength. Could it be that he had already died? Now you will receive a free activation package, and you will exchange sensory experiences with the school beauty Mu Xinxi. You suffer while she enjoys, and she enjoys while you suffer. Holy shit! As a bookworm who always reads online novels, I fantasized about having a system every day, but I never thought my dream would come true. Isn't Mu Xinxi the goddess of the school flower that the boys chase after? She is the most beautiful and also the most aloof, and the boys are after her, eager to become her lapdogs to please her, but she is indifferent to them all. In fact, Yi Fan also has a good impression of Mu Xinxi, but Mu Xinxi is indifferent to him. As a result, she is bound to him? In other words, whatever she does, he can feel it. In addition, as long as the system detects your interactions, the host can earn points and participate in system raffles to receive rewards. The experience lasts for 2 months and will expire automatically, at which time you will return to normal mode. The system then proceeded to provide Mu Xinxi's information to Yi Fan. Gender, female. Age, 20. Height, 175. Weight, 45 kilograms. Identity, the only daughter of the Mu family conglomerate. Assets, 1 trillion. Omit N zeros, RMB. Hobbies, yoga, flower arrangement, tea art, hand painting, calligraphy, photography, dancing, horse riding. As a reminder, when you come into close contact, your sensory experiences can overlap. While Yi Fan was in a happy mood, the door was knocked on. Knock, knock, knock. Yi Fan noticed a man in a suit enter the ward. He respectfully thanked Yi Fan. Thank you for saving our daughter. I am the secretary of the Mu family. This is a small token of appreciation from our chairman. A check was handed to Yi Fan. It was for 300,000 yuan. Yi Fan's eyes widened. With 300,000 yuan, wouldn't he be able to buy whatever he wanted, eat at fancy restaurants, and buy whatever skin-care products he wanted? This also made him feel very happy. Meanwhile, in the top-class hospital room, Mu Xinxi, lying in the hospital bed, opened her eyes. Her long eyelashes fluttered as her eyes, still a little dazed, looked listlessly and weakly around. Daughter, you're awake. Seeing his beloved daughter come round, Mu's father clutched Mu Xinxi's hand in excitement. Mu Xinxi was relieved to find that she was still alive. I was saved? Yes, it seems to be a young man from your college. Fortunately, he rescued you in time, otherwise something would have happened. Mu Xinxi nodded faintly. Is he okay? She barely had a vague impression of it. She felt someone diving into the water to save her, but she didn't see the person's face. The doctor said that there is no major problem, and he can check out today. Dad will help you settle down and thank the other person properly. That's good. Mu Xinxi slightly gathered her long, thick eyelashes. Are you hungry? Dad has already had someone prepare a meal for you, so you must now nourish your body properly. Mu Xinxi's father treasures this daughter, really afraid of dropping her if he holds her in his hands, and afraid of melting her if he holds her in his mouth. Mu Xinxi has no objections. Mu Xinxi's father immediately had the meal served and placed on the table. Konpoi and shrimp congee, chicken soup with matsutake mushrooms, fresh almas caviar, braised shark's fin, lobster omelette, pipa shrimp with leek and cloud ear mushrooms, shark's fin soup with wolfberries, bird's nest soup with rock sugar. Mu Xinxi took a spoonful of the konpoi and shrimp congee and took a bite. As a result, a spicy and stimulating taste filled her mouth. It was sour and smelly. Cough, cough. Mu Xinzi coughed and suddenly found it difficult to swallow. It was so spicy and sour. How is this possible? This is something I had specially made by a state banquet chef. Mu Xinzi's father was stunned. The porridge didn't go bad, so why was it sour? After all, his daughter had very picky tastes and was very particular about what she ate. Mu Xinzi's father knew he couldn't take his daughter's taste for granted and had to satisfy her cravings. If he sold this conch and shrimp porridge outside, he would make thousands of dollars. Mu Xinzi frowned. It's true. She took another bite of the caviar. The caviar, which should have been smooth and delicious, gave off an obnoxious sour bamboo shoot flavor. What's more absurd is that when Mu Xinzi took a sip of the chicken soup, it was obviously so light and clear, but it turned out to be sour, spicy, and irritating in her mouth. Dad, I think I have a problem with my sense of taste. Mu Xinzi shouted at Mu Furan in a panic. Realizing the seriousness of the situation, his father quickly went to call the doctor. At this moment, in the next room, Yi Fan was enjoying a bowl of snail noodles. But his tongue could also taste the delicious aroma of dried scallop and shrimp congee. It was piping hot and the taste was simply superb. Yi Fan licked his lips, savored the taste, and then tasted the caviar. It was so fresh and sweet. You have to understand that caviar is too luxurious for ordinary people. Especially the best almas caviar, which costs hundreds of dollars a spoonful. The deliciousness is really there. It's so delicious. He never imagined that by eating a less than 20 yuan snail noodle, he would taste the top-level delicacy that can only be eaten for tens of thousands of dollars. But now Yi Fan, who is enjoying the delicious food, has no idea that the unexpected is about to happen. P.S. Sweet and sweet text, please add to collection, thank you. Chapter 2, No Woman in His Heart, and he drew his sword naturally. The VLP department room. Mu Fu anxiously asked, Doctor, how is my daughter? After looking at the test results, the doctor said to Mu Fu, according to our examination, Miss Mu is not in any danger, but she is just a little weak. The reason for her distorted sense of taste may be related to not getting enough rest. She should just rest well. After hearing this, Mu's father was somewhat relieved. He told Mu Xinzi, my dear, you're just too tired. Just go home and get some rest. After Mu Xinzi's examination results came back with no problems, she also felt that she had been too tired recently, and that she had even experienced hallucinations. Now she clearly hadn't done anything. She even felt some soreness in her muscles, and her body was very weak, especially her legs, which were so tired and heavy. It seemed that she really needed to go home and recuperate. Mu Fu went through the discharge procedures for Mu Xinzi and planned to let Mu Xinzi go home to rest. After leaving the hospital, Mu Xinzi felt her eyelids grow heavy. When she was really tired, she accidentally bumped into a passing figure. Yi Fan subconsciously covered his forehead. He went out to go through the discharge procedures and didn't expect to bump into someone, and now he felt a slight rise in his forehead. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have gained 300 points for colliding intimately with the target. Yi Fan immediately started the lottery. Congratulations on being rewarded with a Kawasaki H2 motorcycle. It is now parked in the hospital garage, and comes with an old driver's superb driving ability and a motorcycle certificate. The Kawasaki H2 motorcycle is Yi Fan's dream car. Especially now that it also has superb driving ability, and you can get on the car without having to take a test, it's really cool. Yi Fan heard the sound of pain and only then noticed the beautiful girl surrounded by a group of black-clad bodyguards. Her long black hair reached to her waist, her small face was cute and delicate, her skin was white as snow, and her entire face was overly pretty, except that her eyebrows were slightly furrowed, and she was covering her arm, looking a little innocent and pitiful. Yi Fan was too familiar with this face. Since he had entered the school, the focus of conversation among the boys had never left her. Her face was so pretty, her family background was so good, and her figure was so hot. Looking at the beautiful and charming girl in front of him, he also felt a little hot and bothered. Yi Fan never imagined that he would be tied to such a goddess. He was just able to eat the best top-notch cuisine, and it was also thanks to her. Yi Fan just ate snail noodles, she should like it, right? He doesn't understand what flavor she likes, but snail noodles are so delicious, the locals love them, and Yi Fan can't get enough of them. At the moment, Nukansi's forehead didn't hurt at all. It was obvious that her forehead had hit the other person's arm. But her arm felt like it had been hit by something hard, and it was very sore. Then she heard a muffled, sexy groan, and she looked up in surprise. She saw a handsome guy standing in front of her, rubbing his forehead. He was tall and thin, with a strong body and a masculine aura. His black hair was fine and short, with a light halo in the sun, and his dark eyes and thin lips had a nice curve to them. "Are you okay?" His voice was also low. "I'm fine." Mushinsi replied coldly, "I'm sorry, I bumped into you." She was also a little puzzled. He didn't bump his head, so why was he rubbing his forehead? As a result, something happened that surprised Mushinsi. Her fingers felt the smooth skin between his brows. It was synchronized with his movements. While Mushinsi was still in disbelief, Mu's father was already calling out to her outside the hospital door, "Daughter, what's wrong? Get in the car." "Okay." Mushinsi answered, and walked towards her father. She passed him, and Yifan still looked at her, leaving somewhat reluctantly. After all, it was the first time he had been intimate with a goddess. As it turned out, they didn't even have much of a chance to talk before she left. But fortunately, she was his target, and there would be plenty of time in the future. It's more important to pick up the car. Parking lot. Yifan, who had completed the discharge procedures, saw the finely crafted Kawasaki H2 black motorcycle with its beautiful design. Finally, he had it. Yifan fondled the motorcycle with satisfaction. Without saying a word, he got on it, not trying to look cool. Especially with the helmet on, he looked really handsome. Yifan drove the motorcycle straight out. It was cloudy and windy today. But Yifan had a hard time getting a taxi here, and the bus was not on his way, so he had to ride a motorcycle. Yifan had deliberately put on an extra jacket, which should be warm enough. After he started the car, he didn't feel the wind or the cold, only the comfort of his back leaning on the luxurious car seat cushion, and the warmth of the heater, as warm as spring. Without even thinking, Mushinsi must be sitting in a top luxury car. Just now, Yifan saw Mushinsi get into a Rolls-Royce Phantom sedan. Now he was enjoying the comfort of riding in a luxury car without any effort. It feels great. Yifan didn't realize that while he was enjoying the ride, Mushinsi was suffering. Achoo! Mushinsi sneezed. She was now shivering, her nose was red, and she felt a cold sensation from the wind. It's so cold. She looked around with her arms wrapped around her. Mushinsi's father looked at her and became nervous. He quickly scolded the driver, "Quickly turn up the temperature." However, it was useless. No matter how high the temperature was, Mushinsi still felt a cold breeze. Her eyes were red from the cold and they were sparkling with tears, looking pitiful. It was strange. She was clearly sitting in a warm and comfortable car, but she still felt the cold wind. She was clearly resting, but it felt like she was riding a motorcycle. Why had her body become so strange after this fall? She must not be possessed by a ghost. Yifan had already returned to the academy on his motorcycle and then went to room 502. Climbing the stairs was usually very tiring, especially to the 5th floor. But now her back didn't ache and her legs didn't hurt. She felt really comfortable. After pushing open the door to her room, she saw her 3 roommates playing League of Legends. "You're back?" "No, I'm playing in the dark." Xiao Wu, one of her roommates, asked cheerfully. Fat Tiger, who was typing away on the keyboard, said curiously, "Why did you come back so late today? You didn't have any classes in the afternoon. You must have missed a big show. The school beauty queen fell into the water today." "Yes, she was rescued and taken to the hospital, but it seems that she's not in any danger. I heard that the person who rescued her was a guy from our department. He's such a hero, I want to thank him with a month's worth of milk tea, otherwise I won't be able to see the school beauty queen again." Lei Gu said excitedly. Xiao Wu said excitedly, "I can pay for his food for a week." Hearing what they said, Yifan nodded with satisfaction. "You have to keep your word, the person who saved the school flower is me." "Oh, that's fine." A few heads nodded. But after thinking about it, they quickly let out a curse. "Chow thief. You're the one who saved the school flower. Crap, the hero is in our dormitory?" Seeing the goddess in trouble, the hero is you. Chapter 3, I made the school flower cry. Yifan nodded, "Right, don't forget to buy snacks and milk tea." After Yifan happily scratched his way to the delicious food, he glanced at the pile of finished instant noodle buckets and takeaway boxes on his desk. He immediately exploded, "Guys, please throw everything in the trash after you've finished eating. And, Xiao Wu, what's with the smelly socks on my bed? Did you throw them up there? Are you trying to graduate in biological weapons?" You've had them for days and haven't washed them yet. Under normal circumstances, Yifan would be overwhelmed by the stench. But now that he and the school beauty have swapped tastes, he can't smell a thing. This is no longer a problem for him, this is great. He also smells a waft of flowers and the fresh scent of a girl's room. Oh, finally, I can escape from this dirty, stinky doghouse and smell something normal. It really smells good. I guess Muxinci is already living in a mansion now. But Yifan still has to make these dogs clean up properly. The male dormitory is a disgrace when it comes to dormitory hygiene, and he is the dorm leader, so he has a lot of responsibility. However, his roommates have now stopped playing games and are all hanging up, and they are all asking Yifan about it. What the hell happened? How the hell did you save the school beauty? What happened to the school beauty? Did you give her mouth-to-mouth resuscitation and kiss her? Yifan raised an eyebrow. Beauty is like a wolf or a tiger, it can break a person's will and destroy their resolve. Please don't be so nasty, okay? Then tell us exactly what happened. Yes, we're all brothers, what's there to keep secret? Facing the urging of his brothers, Yifan said seriously, the table is too dirty, the socks stink, the dormitory is dirty, the trash hasn't been taken out, the homework hasn't been done. Lei Gu, I'll do the homework. Fat Hu, I'll clean up. Xiao Wu, I'll wash the socks. The three roommates, like beasts, were completely desperate to eat melons. Usually they were lazy, never standing when they could sit, never sitting when they could lie down, but now they were busier than ever. Yifan, as the head of the dormitory, is finally able to take a vacation. What a relief! Yifan stretches lazily. Of course, after a bunch of people have done something good, they naturally pester Yifan to continue gossiping. Yifan tells them the whole story, of course keeping the system a secret. Everyone is wide-eyed. They didn't think anything so miraculous could happen. You're now the school flower's savior. That's amazing. That's 300,000 yuan. What's the point of working? You have more than enough to live on. This is like a pie falling from the sky. Hey, why wasn't I there? Otherwise, this good fortune would have come to me. Yifan gloated as he watched everyone look so disappointed. Hey, you still don't know that I also have a very powerful system. I have it, you don't. Muxinci had just returned home, and already she felt her legs aching and her feet stinking unbearably. There was also a nauseating smell of instant noodles. It was completely overwhelming her. It stinks. The house was clearly fragranced with aromatherapy and decorated with flowers, so the smell should be pleasant. Muxinci had sprayed on a lot of perfume, but she couldn't smell it, and still found the smell between her nostrils unbearable. There was no way around it, so Muxinci had to escape to the bathroom. I'm just too tired, I'm hallucinating, a good bath and some rest will be fine, Muxinci comforted herself. After all, she had just fallen into the water, suffered a shock, and it was normal to experience a disorder of taste, smell, and touch. She sighed. When will her sense of touch return to normal? At the moment, Yifan felt very hot and walked around in the bedroom. What's wrong? Fat Tiger asked. It's nothing, just a little hot. Yifan waved his hands. The school flower seemed to be in a sauna, how could he not be hot? As a result, Xiao Wu muttered, it's only 10 degrees, how can it be so hot? However, Yifan was unaware that he had bound a system. Fortunately, this ordeal finally came to an end after a while. Yifan let out a sigh. Afterwards, all he enjoyed was the smooth feel of the high-quality clothes, which were especially comfortable to wear. It was much more comfortable than the t-shirts Yifan had bought for 10 yuan each, and the material was different. Yifan lay on the bed. What he felt was not the low-quality, hard wooden bed in the dormitory. Instead, he felt the softness of the mattress. It was so comfortable. Yifan was very content. The bed in Muxian's room must have cost several 100,000 yuan. Not only did it not creak when turned over, but one could also feel the resilience of the Simmons bed. However, the Muxian porcelain is not as comfortable. It is clear that she is sleeping on a mattress worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, but she cannot feel the softness at all. On the contrary, she feels that the bedboard is hard, and her back aches. She tosses and turns, but she just can't sleep well. She is very sleepy and has already closed her eyes to sleep. However, her consciousness is very clear. She even feels water being poured on her, as if someone is taking a bath. Oh my god, she's crazy. What a strange dream. Chapter 4, The School Beauty Queen, You're Not Okay? The next morning, in the cafeteria, Xiaowu and Fat Tiger looked at the bowl of kanji with melancholy. Was this kanji or just plain water? There was no rice in it at all. The cafeteria auntie's hands were shaking, and she had even poured half a bowl of kanji for me. This bun is hard as hell, there's no meat left, the food in the cafeteria is worrying. While everyone was complaining, Sui Sui noticed that Yifan was eating really happily. He was not disgusted by the plain kanji like everyone else, but was actually enjoying it. His roommates looked at Yifan in disbelief. How could he possibly find this bland food delicious? Little did they know that what Yifan was eating was indeed a delicacy. There was a sweet taste in his mouth and teeth. He was eating plain kanji, but it tasted like the school beauty's delicious breakfast. The fresh and tender rice rolls, wrapped in egg, lettuce and sausage, had a very good texture and melted in the mouth. There were also crab roe soup dumplings, with crab roe from Yangcheng Lake, which was plump and delicious. The skin was incredibly thin, so that it was piping hot when bitten into, and the original chicken broth splashed out, wrapping the delicious crab roe in a perfect texture. Yifan couldn't help but smack his lips in aftertaste. The school flower seemed to have tasted the crystal shrimp dumplings again, and the transparent skin was soft and delicious when bitten into. The shrimp was very fresh, probably made fresh, and the taste with a little vinegar sauce was superb. It's too luxurious for ordinary people to be able to have breakfast early in the morning, especially students who are just happy to fill their stomachs with a quick breakfast. So satisfying. Yifan's kanji was nothing more than a relatively clean food in the cafeteria. In the morning, don't all students have a bowl of kanji to moisten their bowels, which won't be too stimulating to the intestines? Yifan spent quite a bit of money today, buying a whole bunch of food, including fried dumplings, xiaomai, seaweed and pork floss rolls, and tofu pudding, which he ate in different ways. However, he didn't know that Mu Xinxi had a discerning palate, and she would not necessarily be satisfied with an exquisite and rich breakfast made by a national banquet chef, let alone the ordinary food in the cafeteria. Mu Xinxi felt that her taste buds were strange, and she always tasted something else. It was really lonely to eat. After finishing eating, Yifan went back to the men's dormitory and planned to ride his motorcycle out to take care of some business. As a result, he found a few pretty girls, who kept talking and taking pictures of his Kawasaki motorcycle parked downstairs. This motorcycle is so cool. It has a unique style. This must be very expensive, my brother quite likes racing cars. At that moment, a male voice rang out, it's not expensive. It's just a cheap motorbike from an unknown brand. I guess it's only worth 40,000 to 50,000 yuan. What's the point of a motorbike that's good looking? It'll just be exposed to the elements. It's not as good as the Wuling Hongguang I bought at my own expense. Who is this pretentious person? It definitely wasn't Yifan. Yifan followed the sound of the voice and saw a bespectacled guy strutting over. The other person was Yifan's monitor, Hongi, who usually loved to show off his knowledge, but was actually a fake academic. He got his monitor position by giving gifts to the counselor. Hongi's words made the girl sigh with emotion. No wonder he's the monitor, he really is well informed. The monitor is pretty awesome, and he's still a student, but he already drives a car. Yeah, there aren't many guys at our school who have cars, and it's true that the perspective of someone who drives is different. We thought this motorcycle was very expensive, but it turns out it was just modified to look better. Although the Wuling Hongguang is not worth much, it has 4 wheels. It is much more comfortable than taking the bus or subway with the other boys, and at least it counts as a car owner. For a while, all kinds of envious glances and praise surrounded Hongi. Hongi patted his nose complacently and pretended to be modest. It's nothing, you can be just like me if you work hard. It's just that you don't look at the motorcycle drivers very cool. In fact, the fancy ones are not as good as our Wuling Hongguang, which looks good and is practical. Yifan, however, sneered and walked straight up to him. He didn't say a word, but the attention of the other girls was all focused on Yifan. After all, Yifan is super handsome and the school heartthrob. In particular, the story of his bravery has spread widely throughout the school. Not only is he a handsome guy, but also a hero, and many girls are infatuated with him. Yifan, do you want to go for a walk on campus together? We heard that you saved the school flower, so awesome. I also can't swim, and it feels so dangerous. Classmate Yifan, would you teach me how to swim? I just bought a super sexy bikini. Have you had breakfast, Yifan? Let's go to the cafeteria and have a meal. I heard that new dishes are on the menu. If you don't want to go because the cafeteria is far away, I can buy it for you. The girls can't wait to get close to Yifan, and the hints are obvious. This also makes Hongyi hateful and grit his teeth. You have to know that the girls were very enthusiastic about him just now, but once Yifan appeared, it changed all of a sudden. Since the beginning of the semester, Yifan has had a very good relationship with the opposite sex. Even though Yifan is the bottom of the class, there are still quite a few girls who want to throw themselves at him. Now that Yifan has saved the school beauty, he has become even more famous. Originally, the girls in the class were enthusiastic about him, but now all the girls in the school admire him. However, Yifan is indifferent to these hot and beautiful girls, and says indifferently, "Sorry, you're blocking my Kawasaki motorcycle." Ah! The girls are shocked. They see Yifan wave the car keys in his hand. "The car is mine." Everyone was shocked. Even Hongyi couldn't believe it. The cool motorcycle in front of him was Yifan's? Yifan wasn't poor and couldn't even afford to buy food before, so how could he have such an expensive motorcycle now? And Hongyi also encountered a hot potato in front of him. The girls immediately glared at Hongyi. "Kawasaki motorcycle? I know about that. My brother said it costs hundreds of thousands of yuan, not to mention the modification costs. I didn't think Yifan would have one. Class monitor, didn't you say this was a bargain? It turns out you don't know a good deal either. How can your Wuling Hongguan compare to someone else's motorcycle? Oh, if not a car, it's far worse than a person." The girls' complaints came one after the other, and Yifan could see Hongyi's social death as visible as day. His mouth twitched. Let Hongyi pretend to be cool, now he's fallen flat on his face. As Yifan was about to put on his motorcycle helmet, the girls threw him flirtatious looks and kept cooing, "Brother Yifan, I want to ride in your car. Classmate Yifan, take me for a ride. My legs are sore too, and I'm wearing black tights today, so take me with you." However, Yifan was unmoved by the girls' advances and simply replied, "No backseat." He then put on his helmet and drove off, leaving behind a group of girls who were unwilling and could only stare. Hongyi felt very frustrated when he saw the girls scrambling to hitch a ride. He couldn't stand Yifan's arrogance and quickly replied, "It's cool today, you can take my car." The girls were particularly disdainful. "Who wants to take your car, it's so bumpy. Your car is small, but how can it compare to Yifan's brothers?" Hongyi was furious after hearing this, and watched as the girls left in groups of 3 or 5, clenching his fists in frustration. Little did he know that this scene was captured in the eyes of a dark figure above the tall building. As Yifan was preparing to return to his dormitory, suddenly a slender and exquisite figure blocked his way. "You were the one who saved me last time, weren't you?" Following the clear voice, Yifan saw the beautiful girl in front of him. She was wearing a white dress that outlined her graceful and sexy figure, and her 36D breasts and small waist were fully visible. However, she exuded an icy expression, and her beautiful eyes carried a hint of curiosity. Yifan was slightly surprised. The girl in front of him was actually the school flower Mushinsi. What did she want with him? Chapter 5, Mushinqing came to the door. "Yes, I am." Yifan didn't expect her to come to the door on her own initiative. Suddenly she walked closer step by step. There was already a unique and pleasant smell of peaches that filled the tip of his nose. It made Yifan a little drunk and intoxicated. But the next second Yifan came to his senses. Suddenly she grabbed Yifan's hand, and then under Yifan's surprised gaze, she actually let him pinch her delicate and soft little face. Yifan felt a little dazed by the touch of her face being pinched. The system reminded her, "Congratulations, host, you have successfully pinched her face and earned 200 points. She sneered, "No, I don't feel any pain." Mushinsi's red lips bit slightly, and then her beautiful eyes widened, and she realized it was true. "We have switched places." Yifan was also very surprised. He had actually been discovered. After all, it was such an absurd thing, and he was afraid to mention it to anyone for fear of being considered crazy. He was planning to find a suitable opportunity to tell her, but he never expected her to find out. Just as Yifan thought that Mushinsi would definitely punch and kick him, he saw that Mushinsi's eyes were filled with tears, and her pretty little face was full of grievances. "These past 2 days, I haven't been able to eat well or keep warm, and I blame you, the culprit." Yifan was not afraid of anything, but he was most afraid of seeing girls cry. Now she was looking aggrieved with tears in her eyes, and Yifan's heart instantly softened. "I'm sorry, I don't want to exchange body temperatures with you either. But it just happened." This was all the dog system's doing. Although he helped him fight for his benefits, the skill of exchanging body temperatures was indeed a bit miserable for him against the school beauty. Who would have thought that Mu Xian's porcelain white hands grabbed Yifan's shirt and stammered, "No matter what, you have to give me back my body temperature." In a moment, Yifan felt a soft warmth between his lips. He looked at the beautiful young girl in front of him in disbelief, and pressed his face against hers, kissing her. His heart was untouched by women, and he drew his sword to the gods. However, no matter how hard he tried to numb himself, he was still mesmerized. His adrenaline was still rising straight up. His heart was beating chaotically and irregularly. The two people's chaotic breathing completely made Yifan indulge in it and fall. What a sweet taste! The schoolflower actually kissed him in front of her eyes. Congratulations, host, you have successfully kissed and earned 2,000 points. Phew! Yifan gasped heavily when she let go of him. He could still feel the fragrance of Mu Xinxi on his lips. She was so brave. But he liked it. Yifan couldn't suppress the smile on his lips. However, Mu Xinxi's eyes widened, her face flushed with a layer of red, and she exclaimed in surprise, "Why haven't you switched back yet?" In TV dramas, they always say that kissing can switch. She gave her first kiss. She made up her mind to do it, but it was useless. Mu Xinxi was utterly ashamed when she thought about that passionate kiss. Yifan silently thought to himself, "This is all the result of the system's naughty manipulation. Of course it won't be exchanged by kissing. After the 2 months are up, it will automatically be exchanged back." Mu Xinxi was very persistent. "No, we have to unlock some other way. You come with me. I was the one who saved you after you fell into the water. Can't we just recreate the situation and fall into the water again to get it back?" Mu Xinxi speculated. Yifan replied, "No, what if it doesn't work? What if there's another drowning accident? What then?" The last drowning incident had indeed left a lasting impression on her. "Just wait a little longer, maybe things will go back to normal after a while." Yifan sympathized with Mu Xinxi's situation and comforted her. After all, it would expire in 2 months. Mu Xinxi's cold face was a little dispirited and a little unwilling. "Okay, that's it, maybe I'll find a way later." She raised her eyes and looked at Yifan. "I still have to thank you in person for saving me last time. Can I trouble you for one more thing now?" "What?" "Take good care of your health." Mu Xinxi's white and delicate face completely turned red. Before changing back, "Can you try to think a little bit more about the other person?" The usually arrogant and cold school beauty now begged him. He is not some straight-laced guy, so he nodded right away. "Okay, fine. Then let's add each other on WeChat. I need to know where you are and what you're doing all the time." Mu Xinxi's ears completely turned red. "Okay, no problem." Yifan readily accepted. After all, it was because of him that the other person had a problem, so he definitely had to take responsibility. Besides, he installed the soft food system, so he can benefit from being in contact with Mu Xinxi. Yifan quickly added Mu Xinxi as a WeChat friend. You have to know that before, there were quite a few dog lovers chasing after the school flower for WeChat, but the school flower avoided them all. Now he has added the school flower's WeChat. It really feels like a dream. The school flower's profile picture is of her, with a cool temperament, a pretty face, and a casual shot that is an artistic photo. Yifan marked it with some satisfaction. Mu Xinci. Then I will contact you when I find an effective way to switch us back. Mu Xinci walked closer, leaned slightly, held her head high, and gazed at Yifan with her beautiful eyes. But I don't want a third person to know about our exchange. Okay, I'll keep it a secret. Yifan wasn't interested in blowing the whistle either, because he would be the one who would be troubled. Mu Xinxi nodded and left. Yifan opened the system interface and immediately clicked to draw once. System, congratulations, host, you have drawn a bottle of skin enhancement potion. Not only can it make you stronger and healthier, it can also make you taller, improve your appearance and charm, and even change your voice to become more magnetic and pleasant to the ear. Do you want to use it now? Although Yifan was very confident in his appearance, he still had a deep obsession with growing taller. After all, he is a handsome guy, but at only 1.78 meters, he is just a little short of being able to join the ranks of the 1.8 meter tall. However, he drank a lot of milk and played a lot of basketball, and his height did not gradually increase. This is simply a blessing from heaven. Use. So he drank the skin-enhancing potion himself. Congratulations, host, you have successfully used it. You will continue to gradually experience some changes within 1 month, with remarkable results. Very soon Yifan felt that his physique had improved a lot and his body was full of strength. He couldn't wait and went back to his dormitory to measure his height. Upon seeing it, he was surprised. He was 1.79 meters tall. He had grown 1 centimeter in such a short time. He would be 1.8 meters tall tomorrow. Then he would be as tall as Yao Ming. Looking in the mirror again, he saw that his skin was much better than before, and it was a little whiter. He had always had a strong face, but now the contours seemed softer. In short, he looked better. Chirp, chirp, Mulan is weaving at the door. No sound of the loom is heard, only the woman's sighs. Yifan began to endorse. Originally, he had a slightly hoarse voice, which was his biggest flaw. However, now his voice was clear and his voice was very magnetic. It would be a pity not to use such a voice as a clip. Yifan was quite satisfied with the results. After a while, someone suddenly pushed open the door. It was. Chapter 6, the school beauty queen appeared on the playground, and it turned out that she was there for. Xiaowu pushed the door open and saw Yifan calling out, "Yi, let's go play basketball." No. Yifan refused. After all, they had exchanged physical sensations, and what if the school beauty queen got tired? As a result, Xiaowu said, "That brat Honey is here too. He said that if you don't come, it's because you're afraid of being abused by him." I can't stand it. One sentence made Yifan unhappy. Want to abuse him? Dream on. Then I'll just beat him up for a few minutes. A few minutes is enough to abuse Honey. With the physical fitness potion, I don't have to beat him up as hard as I used to. Yifan grabbed the basketball and went to the playground with Xiaowu, Lei Go, and Fat Tiger to play basketball. In addition to Honey, there were also a few upperclassmen who came to make up the numbers. As soon as they arrived, Yifan heard the upperclassmen flattering Honey. Honey is really good at playing basketball, so give him some room. Yes, let the other team have some game experience, ha. Luckily I'm not your opponent, or else I'll be cool. In terms of playing basketball, who can beat Honey? Honey was previously the captain of the basketball team. Yifan and the others are still not here, they're probably too scared to come. Xiaowu replied unhappily, "Who's scared? I'll destroy you all." Honey gave a smug smile, unable to hide his delight. You can't just say it. Basketball is his forte, and this time Yifan is going to be mercilessly abused by him. Yifan threw the basketball at Honey's chest and said domineeringly, "Let's see what you're really made of. Wait until Dad abuses you." Everyone else thought Yifan was joking. But after the game, Yifan was telling the truth. Yifan started the game well, taking Honey's ball several times and dunking it straight into the basket. Awesome! Xiaowu and the others raised their thumbs at Yifan. Yifan has the physical fitness potion, and his basketball skills have improved by leaps and bounds. Most importantly, he doesn't feel tired because he doesn't have a sense of physical pain. This is the secret to his championship. Now he can beat 30 authors like Ying without any problem. Honey is very unhappy. He was angry because he wanted to let Yifan have a taste of his own medicine during the day. He and the seniors deliberately surrounded Yifan, but they didn't expect that Yifan was extremely agile and successfully made a long-range shot with a feint. Alas! Honey sighed, exhausted and out of breath, but he had gained nothing. Yifan's roommates were particularly excited. "Yi, you played really well. You're awesome. You're simply amazing now." Even the seniors were full of admiration for Yifan. "I didn't realize you were so good at fighting." Yifan touched his nose and couldn't help laughing. Just SOSO, world number 3. Okay, I have to go. Although it was only a few minutes, it was the school beauty who was taking the beating. He felt a bit embarrassed, but he couldn't let the school beauty get tired. Even though the other seniors were regrettably trying to persuade him to continue, Yifan refused. "Okay, I'm not playing anymore, my girlfriend wants to go to the movies with me later." Honey saw everyone crowding around Yifan, and he couldn't beat him at basketball, so he took a different approach. He deliberately showed off in front of everyone, successfully attracting everyone's attention. "Girlfriend? You've got a girlfriend." The seniors who knew Honey were amazed. Honey was bragging. "Just at noon, a junior girl from the finance department confessed her love to me." This time, the other seniors were excited and started gossiping. Could it be the department flower who plays the piano very well? I really envy you, she is quite pretty, Honey, you've got it made. Hong was overjoyed when he saw everyone's envy. There was nothing I could do about it, my charisma won her over. I heard that she had a secret crush on me for a long time and begged me to go out with her, so there was nothing I could do but agree to her confession. He glanced at Ji-fan again and said with a sneer, no way, there can't be anyone single and without a girlfriend right now, can there? Everyone here has a girlfriend. Except Ji-fan. Some of the seniors looked at Ji-fan with glee, obviously hoping for chaos. Ji-fan snorted when he heard this. Who couldn't tell that Hong was insulting him? Hong was even pretending to be cool in front of him, not afraid of making a fool of himself. There was nothing I could do about it, Ji-fan shrugged. I want to get off the market too, but there are too many people pursuing me and too many choices. Everyone trembled. This was definitely not something Ji-fan said off the cuff. It was the truth. After all, Ji-fan, as the school heartthrob, has never lacked girls chasing after him. Every now and then, little girls secretly run to the classroom door to see him, and Ji-fan is definitely a frequent visitor to the school confession wall. For a while, everyone's focus of envy shifted back to Ji-fan. Although they are all single, it is also because apart from their girlfriends, there are no other girls chasing after them. But Ji-fan is different. What kind of girl wouldn't fall for him? Who wouldn't envy Ji-fan for having so many options? A group of girls like Ji-fan, and as long as Ji-fan is willing, he can have both left and right arms. Can another guy get such treatment? Yes, Ji-fan is so handsome that I want him to be my brother-in-law. I heard that Ji-fan was on the confession wall again yesterday? Ji-fan's luck with women is too strong, and being so handsome is also a kind of trouble. After all, finding a girlfriend is like choosing a concubine, and you have to flip through the signs. Everyone was full of praise for Ji-fan, and no one remembered Hong by the shore of the Daming Lake. Seeing that Ji-fan had stolen the limelight, Hong clenched his fists in displeasure. It was only natural for him to be torn between the girls chasing after him and the lack of quality women. After all, who wouldn't want a pretty girlfriend? Come to think of it, everyone was right. Hong's girlfriend was the belle of the school. She was beautiful and talented. Although there were many girls chasing after Ji-fan, none of them were as pretty as Hong's girlfriend. Hong bragged again, my girlfriend just sent me a text asking if I wanted some milk tea. She knows I worked too hard playing basketball. Everyone was jealous. It must be wonderful to have a beautiful girlfriend who cares about her boyfriend. Unfortunately, they don't have one. Hong is not as handsome as Ji-fan, but he has managed to win the heart of the school beauty. Everyone began to ask Hong for advice. Hong, please share your experience, how did you get such a pretty girlfriend? My girlfriend is nice, but she's not as pretty as you, and she's also quite fierce. How do you train your girlfriend? Hong smirked at Ji-fan, feeling really proud of himself. He felt like he had really let off some steam. You're not convinced, are you? I have such a pretty girlfriend, and you don't. Even if you have a good-looking face, what's the use? Being good-looking doesn't pay the bills. Before Ji-fan could say anything, someone suddenly shouted, "Ah, it's Moo's school flower." Everyone looked towards the entrance of the playground. A beautiful girl with a curvaceous figure appeared before everyone. Her thick, beautiful black hair reached her waist, and she was wearing a long, one-shoulder dress with a cinched waist. Her skin was as white as snow, highlighting her beautiful swan neck and slender waist. She was holding a cup of Guming milk tea in her hand, as if the milk tea were a work of art. However, her expression is cold, as mysterious and dazzling as a flower from Jailing. Many people are full of praise and infatuation at her appearance. So beautiful. My heart pounds whenever I see her. She is a goddess I can never hope to woo. If only she would look at me. I would go bankrupt just to be with her, even if I had to steal a battery-powered tricycle to support her. Even Ji-fan's roommates were excited. Xiaowu excitedly grabbed Ji-fan's sleeve. Ah, the school beauty queen is so close to me for the first time. Fat Tiger blushed, it seems like she's coming our way. No way, who is she looking for? She's not giving the milk tea to one of us, is she? Lei Gu guessed. Xiaowu looked down on him, how could that be? Have you ever seen the goddess show her affection to anyone? She definitely isn't looking for us, maybe she's just passing by. Lego immediately dismissed this ridiculous idea. It's true, Mu Xinxi is the school's famous cold and aloof school beauty queen, with countless suitors. Who has seen Mu Xinxi approach any boy before and even give him milk tea? No way, if a boy gives her milk tea, she can accept it, and it's something she can brag about for the rest of her life. Usually the school beauty queen doesn't live on campus, and they rarely bump into each other. Now they can get a few more looks, which is really a super happy thing. While everyone was feasting their eyes, they noticed that Mushinsi was really walking towards them. Ah, no way. She really came to deliver milk tea, right? Who is it for? Chapter 7, Is the school flower coming to confess? While everyone's hearts were in a tizzy, Mushinsi stopped in front of Hongi. Hongi's face suddenly turned red. Could it be that the school flower has a secret crush on him, so she's delivering milk tea to him? If that's the case, why is he still single? The school flower said a few words, and he immediately started dating her. Everyone else was envious when they saw Mushinsi stop in front of Hongi. My god, is Hongi that lucky? The flower girl has a crush on him, and the school flower is also interested in him? Hongi is really a catch. If the school flower gave me milk tea, I could brag for a whole year. If the school flower confesses to Hongi, how will Hongi choose? He has a girlfriend after all. Hongi was delighted to hear the surrounding voices. Hey, you can all envy me. My life is good. Hey, who says I don't have charm to spare? Hi. Hongi struck up a conversation smugly. Mushin Porcelain spoke coldly, excuse me, you're in the way. Hongi. Puff. The boys who had just been envious of Hongi now burst out laughing. Ha ha ha, how could the school beauty be interested in Hongi? The school beauty's taste is simply not this bad. Hongi's face was burning, and he was very embarrassed. It was a scene from hell. He could only walk around sheepishly to get out of the way. However, who was he blocking? A doubt also rose in Hongi's heart. Hongi immediately looked back, and he discovered that it was Yifan standing behind him. You're thirsty, so have some milk tea. In front of everyone, Mushinsi blushed and handed Yifan the milk tea. In fact, everyone thought she was blushing not because Mushinsi was shy, but because Mushinsi was hot from playing basketball with Yifan. Holy shit! Everyone felt like a bolt of lightning had struck. Mushinsi came here to find Yifan? How could that be? Everyone looked at this miraculous scene, which was comparable to a world record, in disbelief. Xiaowu and the others were even more stunned. They had been worried that Yifan was too picky and would never get married. Who would have thought that such a beautiful schoolgirl would come to him? Kid, you really are lucky. Hongi was even more dumbfounded. His mouth was wide open, as if he could swallow an egg. He had just finished making fun of Yifan, and he never expected the goddess in everyone's heart to come and flirt with Yifan. Mushinsi has always been the passive one. When has she ever taken the initiative? This is the scene that many people fantasize about, but then Yifan got it. I hate it. Yifan also didn't expect Mushinsi to serve milk tea in full view of everyone. Now he can feel the envious and jealous stares refracting from all directions. He has also been considered to have a fierce and awe-inspiring moment. Okay. Yifan took the milk tea from Mushinsi's hands. Congratulations, host, for accepting Mushinsi's milk tea and earning 300 points. Many people stared at the milk tea in Yifan's hands. They were so envious. They really wanted to drink it. But Yifan just looked down and drank the milk tea that everyone had their hearts set on. How annoying. This cup of milk tea must be really sweet. If it were them, they probably wouldn't want to drink it and would save it. But Yifan drank it down in one go without a care. Everyone noticed that the originally aloof school beauty now had a faint smile on the corner of her lips. Oh, the school beauty smiled. Unfortunately, she smiled at Yifan. But what everyone didn't know was that Mushinsi was happy to have the milk tea. Yifan didn't know about sun protection when playing ball, and got hot from the sun. She was about to have heat stroke. Not to mention that Yifan played ball so hard that she ran out of breath and her limbs ached. Without saying a word, she hurriedly came to look for Yifan, and of course she brought the milk tea she had bought alone. In such a difficult and hot environment, if she didn't rest and drink some cold milk tea, she would really be exhausted. Now that Yifan had drunk the milk tea, she also tasted the cold, refreshing milk tea. It was sweet and very refreshing. This completely revived Mushinsi. But that wasn't enough. It was so hot, you should go rest and get some air conditioning. Mushinsi didn't say a word and started holding Yifan's hand. When he touched her palm, Yifan felt an electric current shoot through his hand, and it was about to go numb. He saw the graceful and beautiful Mushinsi, who took a breath and took him by the hand, and left under the astonished gazes of the crowd. Congratulations, host, for holding hands with Mushinsi and gaining 500 points. the system reminded. After they left, the group of boys on the field had not yet recovered from the shock. Did I see that right? The school flower just took Yifan's hand, didn't she? Yifan is awesome, everyone else can't catch up to the goddess, but he's got her? Everyone says Yifan is single, but no one knows that the school flower has a crush on him. So Yifan is the school flower's dog? That's awesome. Compared to that, I think the school flower is much better than Hani's girlfriend. The person we should really ask for advice is Yifan. How did he get the school flower to be so proactive? This comparison shows the difference between them. The school beauty is good-looking, beautiful as a fairy, comes from a good family, has good grades, and is a perfect example of a rich and beautiful woman. She completely outshines the department flower, which doesn't even come close to the school beauty in terms of looks. You have to understand that the school beauty is very aloof and rarely speaks to boys, let alone strike up a conversation. However, this historic scene is right in front of your eyes, which is enough to prove how charming Yifan is. To be able to make a beautiful goddess come to you voluntarily to deliver milk tea and even hold hands subconsciously, Yifan is simply a Casanova among fighters. This made Hani furious. He himself had some feelings for the school beauty, but she was too difficult to woo, and she was simply not interested in him, let alone accepting his gifts. Hani was also wasting his time, so he could only hide his feelings in his heart, and treat Mushinsi as an unattainable goddess. Who would have thought that Yifan would let Mushinsi take the initiative? Damn it, Yifan has once again forced his way in front of the Blue Moon Cafe. When Yifan walked in, the doorman of the restaurant said expressionlessly, "Sorry, we're not hiring part-time staff at the moment." He had sized up Yifan. He looked completely like a student, wearing what looked like a few dollar street vendor's goods. This was the restaurant with the highest local spending, with an average of thousands of yuan per person. The people who came here to spend were either rich people or famous women and their children. This handsome guy looked like he was here for an interview, or some internet celebrity who would pose for pictures and then leave. It is better to avoid trouble in the future and not let him in. Yifan, who had been judged by his appearance, said unconvinced, "I'm here to eat." At this moment, Mushinsi had already followed up. Her elegant and beautiful temperament immediately caught the eye of the doorman. Not only was she wearing designer clothes, she was also carrying a designer bag from Chanel. He recognized her identity, the daughter of the Mu Zaifa group and a regular customer here. "Miss Mu, you're here," the doorman said ingratiatingly. However, Mushinsi coldly told the doorman, "In the future, don't block him when he comes." This single sentence left the doorman dumbfounded. He then noticed that Mushinsi had already led Yifan into the door. This handsome guy is really something. Does he have superhuman abilities that made Miss Mu willingly bow down under his jeans? Chapter 8, Out and About Together. You have to know that Miss Mu has never brought a male companion with her on any of her many visits to the restaurant, but today she did. And someone who can go out and about with Miss Mu can't possibly be a poor student. It turns out that this handsome guy is a hidden talent, so low-key, and it turns out that the t-shirt he's wearing isn't a designer brand, but a private high-end custom-made one. Please come in, it's my bad for not recognizing you." The doorman is respectful and polite, and he personally entertains them, helping to push open the door. Yifan took advantage of the reputation of Mushinsi and enjoyed the preferential treatment of a VIP. It was really cool. She made the doorman snobbish, and now she's slapped his face. But this place is worthy of being an upscale restaurant with an average price of thousands of yuan per person. The environment is really elegant and romantic, and just looking at the cost of the decoration, it's not cheap. Yifan never thought she would be able to come here. After all, the student party simply doesn't have the money to come here for afternoon tea. After taking her seat, Mushinsi enjoyed the air conditioning and felt the heat gradually disappear. It's comfortable, so cool she was contentedly curling her red lips, looking as lazy as a cat. The heat on her face gradually faded, but a rosy blush remained, making her a little less sharp and aloof, and a little more girly and cute. "I'm sorry." Yifan realized that he had made a big mistake and scratched his ear a little embarrassedly. "I'm glad you know. Can you get some rest next time?" Mushinsi leaned forward, her eyes looking at him pitifully. "Okay, I'll try to think of you." Yifan was also a little embarrassed. Mushinsi's curled eyelashes blinked slightly, distressed. "That'll do." She looked at Yifan, "You know you were wrong, so make it up to me." Without another word, she handed Yifan the entire menu, order. Yifan scanned the menu. "My, this is expensive. Are you sure this isn't a ripoff?" The cheapest cup of black coffee costs 320 yuan. Isn't it fragrant when you brew it yourself? While Yifan was looking at the menu in confusion, Mu Xinxi asked, "Are you having second thoughts?" "I'll order then." A hand-dripped coffee, a refreshing mimosa orange cake, a Valrhona chocolate soufflé, a doner with veal and tuna sauce, and a white truffle gelato. Yifan was stunned. Surely this wasn't the name of the food? Mu Xinxi ordered more than 10 dishes at once. Not only that, but each one was more expensive than the last. When all the food arrived, Yifan felt like it would bankrupt him. The exquisite and neatly arranged plates were filled with delicious food that looked good enough to eat. This was heaven. Yifan had longed to indulge like this before, but his wallet had not allowed it. Now his wish had come true. "I'll treat, you just eat." Mu Xinxi's whole demeanor was languid and charming as she said to Yifan in a light tone. After all, they had traded places, and she could only enjoy herself if Yifan enjoyed himself. Otherwise, no matter what she eats, it will taste like chewing wax. "Don't worry, I won't be rude. I'll eat whatever you like," Yifan promised, "but you have to eat too, so that we can both eat what we want." Mu Xinxi nodded, "Okay." After all, she asked Yifan for help, so she can't treat him badly. So Yifan listened to Mu Xinxi and ate the tuna first. It just so happened to be what he wanted to eat too. Yifan's eyes lit up as soon as he took the first bite. The high-quality tuna, which costs hundreds of yuan per catty, has a really smooth texture. In the past, he would have been reluctant to eat it, but now he casually tastes it. Mu Xinxi ignores the loophole of the exchange and feels that the experience is about the same as usual. A soft and delicious piece of fish in her mouth gives her a long-lost sense of satisfaction. She heard that a spoonful of white truffle ice cream costs several hundred yuan, so she now spoonful after spoonful into Yifan's mouth. Don't be too satisfied. You'll have material to brag about in the future. This extravagant afternoon tea was simply wonderful. Congratulations, host, you have earned 500 points for dining sweetly with Mu Xian porcelain. Yifan thought that he had quite a lot of points, so he went directly to the background to draw 3 times. The system interface quickly displayed. Ding, congratulations, host, you have drawn super high gaming ability. Ding, congratulations, host, you have drawn an investment information card. Ding, congratulations, host, you have drawn 8 million renminbi. Super high gaming ability? That means playing games is going to be a breeze, and I won't have to watch noobs pecking at each other? It'll come in handy when I play with friends. Yifan flipped open the investment information card and took a look. Jiayue Media Brokerage Company, currently experiencing problems with its capital chain, needs urgent investment. In a year's time, it will become the top comprehensive film and television listed group in the industry, and you'll be able to make a fortune. Yifan counted after seeing the information card. This is foresight. Originally, Yifan was short of money, only having 300,000 yuan, so how could he invest and buy shares? Fortunately, he had now won 8 million yuan, which was a small investment with a big return, a sure profit. Yifan already had an idea, and went back to invest in Jiayue Media. After eating and drinking to his heart's content, Yifan leaned back comfortably. He habitually touched his abdomen. As a result, Mu Xinxi's face turned red, and she let out a small cry, "Hey, wait. What's wrong?" Yifan asked curiously. "You, don't touch me randomly." Mu Xinxi bit her lower lip in shame. "Don't forget, I can feel everything you do." Her palm still retained the warmth, all from Yifan's touch on his abs. Yifan's adrenaline shot up. He almost forgot that he and Mu Xinxi had exchanged tactile sensations. He could feel it when Mu Xinxi was bathing and touching her body. Cough cough, sorry, I'll try to be more careful, but I can't help it. Yifan said apologetically. I know, so please don't touch the sensitive areas too much, and don't. Mu Xinxi found it hard to say. Yifan, however, was intrigued and teased, "Don't what?" "Drive." Mu Xinxi took a deep breath and held back a sentence. She really didn't want to have that strange sense of experience. Last time, it was Yifan who took a shower, and she had that kind of indescribable contact, which now makes her especially ashamed. "Don't worry, I'm single." Yifan paused for a moment, and he hasn't had this opportunity yet. Coincidentally, so am I, and Mu Xinxi let out a sigh, so we're even. Yifan hooked his lips. Then what else do you think of that you need to remind me? Let's live together. Yifan had just drunk some water, but after hearing Mu Xinxi's words, he suddenly coughed. Cohabitation? Why cohabitation? Is this a distortion of human nature or a loss of morality? Is the school flower declaring her love and confirming the relationship? Chapter 9, moving into the school flower's mansion, surrounded by maids. Mu Shinsi stroked her throat lightly. The uncomfortable feeling of being choked by water was what she was experiencing now. Sorry, it's just that your words were so shocking. Yifan took another sip of water and cleared his throat. It was just to make her feel more comfortable. Maxinsi across from him looked better. But her cheeks were still flushed, her eyes slightly narrowed in a daze, and she looked completely charming. What I mean is for you to live in my house. After Maxinsi calmed down, she gritted her teeth, her face growing redder and redder. It's not the kind of relationship you're thinking of. Our situation is very tricky right now. She paused, and in order for me to have a good night's sleep, I can only feel at ease if I arrange your living environment. Mu Shinsi has never been to a male dormitory. But she has smelled the stench of dirty socks and the unpleasant smell of the dormitory. Not to mention that Yifan is sleeping on a hard wooden bed, and she is the one who has to bear it all. If Yifan lives in her house, she will have a good sleeping environment and sleep more soundly. This is not possible. How can I just casually live in a girl's house? Yifan refused. It's still not right. How can he casually live in the school beauty's house? This will affect the school beauty's reputation. Besides, a man and a woman under the same roof. Yifan admitted that he had self-control, but it was hard to resist the beauty. The other party was still such a beautiful school beauty, and it was even harder to refuse. He must not be lustful. Mu Shinsi's eyes lit up when she saw Yifan refuse. If other boys had readily agreed, but Yifan still had concerns, it proved that he was not a villain who took advantage of a person in need. He's so nice. He's reliable. This made Mu Shinsi's impression of Yifan even better, and strengthened her resolve to retain Yifan. If you live in my house, you can enjoy the same preferential treatment as me. The servants treat you exactly like the master. In addition, I will give you pocket money every month. Please help me. Mu Shinsi's pair of watery eyes gazed at Yifan with longing. Yifan saw the school beauty begging him, and his heart softened. You have a luxury apartment, but you don't live there, you choose to live in a dirty dorm room. Although the roommates are nice, the dorm room is really terrible. The lights go out at 10:30 p.m., and sometimes the cell phone battery is too low to charge before the lights go out, and you might be in the middle of showering or washing your hair. Not only that, the dorm room is a biohazard. Not to mention the 3 roommates, who don't like to clean and always make a mess in the dorm room. There are leftover takeaway boxes on the table that have gone bad in the heat, and mosquitoes and flies buzzing around. He is the dorm monitor and is responsible for keeping the dorm clean. Not only that, but they throw their smelly socks around, and Xiao Wu is a complete footfetcher who doesn't like to wash his feet, so the smell is just unbearable. Do you think that's enough? The 3 of them are also fart kings. Pa. Bo 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 bo. Bo 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 bo. The farting sounds came one after the other. One ended, and another started. What started out as a gentle fart turned into a thunderclap. This made the already terrible bedroom environment even worse. Sorry, brother, he had to go first. It wasn't that the mansion was too attractive, nor was it that he really didn't want to smell the farts in the dormitory anymore, but he really couldn't refuse the request of the school flower. So Yifan nodded, then I'll say yes. Congratulations, host, you have been invited to live together and have gained 300 points. Thank you. Mu Shinsi nodded with satisfaction. Everything was much easier than she had thought. I just hope nothing goes wrong from now on. Mu Shinsi never imagined that after Yifan moved in, everything would develop in the direction she had intended. When it was time to pay the bill, the waiter subconsciously walked up to Yifan and asked, "Hello, would you like to pay by scanning the QR code or by credit card?" The waiter looked at the handsome Yifan and then at the beautiful and flawless beauty Mu Shinsi sitting opposite him. He didn't even need to think about it to know that Yifan was definitely wooing Miss Mu. After all, no matter how pretty Miss Mu is, even she, a girl, has to bend over backwards. The lilies in his hometown are all in bloom. Normally, in this situation, the guy will pay the bill no matter what. While the waiter was praising his own resourcefulness, Mu Shinsi handed over her black card, pay by card. The waiter was stunned, his eyes wide open. Did she read it right? It turned out to be Mu Shinsi paying the bill. Isn't it the guy chasing the girl, but Miss Mu chasing the guy? What exactly is so special about this guy? This is a goddess that many guys chase. While the waiter was surprised, he also took a serious look at Yi Fan. She didn't see clearly just now, but now that she looked at him face to face, she was shocked by his handsome appearance. So handsome. His eyes were bright like stars, his eyelashes were long, and his nose was high. Is this definitely not a celebrity? Not to mention the stunning Miss Mu, even the waiter was overwhelmed. She stared straight ahead, unable to take her eyes off him. If he weren't a guest, she would ask for his WeChat ID right now. Mu Xinxi tapped the table with her hand to signal a stop. The waiter suddenly came to his senses, raised his red face, and apologized, "I'm sorry." After she swiped her card, she returned it to Mu Xinxi. Ding, 1 act of soft living detected, 500 bonus points awarded, the system reminded him. Let's go, Mu Xinxi said to Yi Fan. Yi Fan nodded and followed Mu Xinxi out. The waiters watched Yi Fan leave reluctantly, and they were all distracted from their work. She sincerely believed that Yi Fan must be more than just handsome, and that he must have other good qualities. Otherwise, Miss Mu has seen so many handsome guys, and she has even hooked up with top celebrities, and she is indifferent, so how can she easily fall for a guy? When they reached the door, Yi Fan, who did not have a bicycle, said to Mu Xinxi, "I'm going to take the bus now, go back to the dormitory and pack up a few things." You can't take the bus. Mu Xinxi frowned and resolutely rejected the idea. Why? Yi Fan was very puzzled. It's very hot right now, and the bus will definitely smell really bad. And it's going to be really crowded. You can ride in my sports car. Mu Xinxi said stubbornly. Although she had never ridden on a bus before, her best friend Xiaoya rode on the bus all the time, and she had even complained about being squished like a meat pie. The most important thing is that there are perverts on the bus. What if someone gropes you? Mu Xinxi definitely didn't want to have such a bad experience. Since she was born, she has enjoyed the top luxury cars. Fine. Yi Fan had no objections. Who would want to take the bus when they could enjoy the luxury of a car? So Yi Fan boarded Mu Xinxi's sports car with full authority. He had already enjoyed it once before. The feeling was really good. And the convertible sports car drove so that the wind whistled past, which was very comfortable. Yi Fan took a comfortable position at will and enjoyed it. It's no wonder that the Lamborghini is the sixth element. Soon the sports car stopped in front of the men's dormitory. The luxury car quickly attracted everyone's attention. After all, not many people can drive such a flashy sports car on campus. Some people already recognized that this is the Schoolflower's car. Isn't this the Schoolflower's sports car? It seems that someone is sitting in the passenger seat. Is it a girl? I haven't seen the Schoolflower pick anyone up. It looks like a guy. Who is it? Oh my god, has the Schoolflower been hanging out with a guy recently? While the boys are in a state of shock, the car door opens and a tall, handsome figure steps down. His handsome face is glowing with the refracted sunlight, and his silhouette is charming. Everyone is shocked instantly. Chapter 10, the whole school found out that I was involved with the Schoolflower. Everyone couldn't calm down and immediately started talking about it. Who is he? What's his relationship with the Schoolflower? Today I heard that the Schoolflower gave a man milk tea. Could it be this kid? Could it be that the Schoolflower has gone off the market and gone out with him? Didn't they say that the Schoolflower is a germaphobe and doesn't like people sitting in her car? Someone recognized Yi Fan's identity. He is the class flower of the sophomore, class in the finance department, and many little girls chase after him. I didn't expect even the Schoolflower to be interested in him. I am defeated. He is quite handsome, and his skin is quite good. Looking at them like this, the two of them are quite a good match, but I am not willing to accept it. I have liked the Schoolflower for so long, and he is taking advantage of that. Amidst the buzz of the crowd, Mu Xinxi's eyes gazed at him fiercely. I will wait for you, as soon as possible. Okay. Yi Fan could already feel the envious glances sweeping at him from all sides. He strutted proudly into the men's dormitory, where a number of boys were already waiting to surround him. Yi Fan, what's going on? Are you dating the school beauty? Yes. Why did she walk you home today? When did you two meet? Yi Fan's ears were about to start growing calluses from all the nosy questions. But it felt great. Who doesn't like being looked up to? Yi Fan naturally likes it too. I'm not dating the school beauty. One sentence instantly relieved the boys. Some even felt justified. Mu Shinsi is very beautiful, and her family background is so good, how could she casually fall in love with just anyone? Yifan is just an ordinary student, he is only a little good looking, and he doesn't have any marketable skills. How could the school beauty look at him? Then why is she walking you home? Yes, no guy has ever been treated like this. Facing the endless questions from everyone, Yifan simply made up an excuse. I sleep next door to her. This should silence the tongues of the idle, and it also provides a reason to explain everything. After Yifan walked upstairs, the others were dumbfounded. They were shocked and their mouths hung wide open. The school flower lives in the prestigious Green City Rose Garden Villa district. If Yifan lives next door to the school flower, then doesn't that mean he also owns a Green City Rose Garden Villa? Oh my god, Yifan is actually a local tycoon. He's so low-key, no wonder I saw him driving a Kawasaki H2 before. Can an ordinary student afford that? The cheapest house in Rose Garden costs 50 million yuan. It's so expensive, that's my dream mansion, and Yifan's family lives there? However, Yifan doesn't know any of this. He's already returned to his dorm room, preparing to sort out his belongings. But as soon as he enters his room, he finds 3 hungry wolves pouncing on him. Rager, you've come back from a date with the school beauty queen, did you have sex? Xiaowu, confess and be lenient, resist and be severe, when did you meet the school beauty queen? Pangu, I told you why you're not in a hurry to find a girlfriend every day, it turns out she's already got her eye on you. Tell us, when did it start? Yifan looked at his 3 curious roommates and couldn't help but laugh. It's a long story, but I really wasn't dating the school beauty queen. As soon as he said that, the 3 of them were even more shocked. Holy shit! The school beauty is chasing you. You really bring honor to our dormitory. We can hardly look at the school beauty, and it turns out that she is after you? The school beauty even offered to bring you milk tea, and you're not even interested. Are you even a man? Yifan. He also wants to date the school beauty. It hasn't even worked yet, has it? But there's still time, and what's his will always be his. It's not even close to happening yet. Yifan took out his suitcase and started putting his clothes in it. When Yifan started packing, his 3 roommates became suspicious and asked, Yi, are you going on a trip? What's with the packing? Are you going home? Yifan shook his head and made up an excuse. My family's house was demolished, and my father bought me a big mansion. I'm applying to go to school on campus and live away from home. Actually, this wasn't a lie. With the system, Yifan could easily get rid of his family's house. He lives with Mu Shinsi, so earning points is no big deal. In the future, he can also buy a luxury home and own a villa in the Rose Garden in Greentown. In a moment, his roommates start to marvel. Your family actually had their home demolished. So you're not a rich kid. Oh my god, I've actually made friends with a rich kid. Damn, you're moving out to a luxury home, I wish I had parents that rich. Let's stay friends even if we get rich. Yifan laughed heartily, don't worry, although I'm moving out, my heart is still with you guys. Don't miss me too much. Xiaowu tweeted, screw you, you're not a girl, you can't even let us have some fun, why should we miss you? Pangu rolled his eyes, just go, I won't see you off, close the door and let the dogs out. Lei Gu was overjoyed, great. I don't have to climb up to the top bunk, I'll just take your empty bed. And your desk is mine too. Yifan. Can love disappear? Damn it, these bastards. After tidying up his things, Yifan started heading downstairs with his suitcase. Xiaowu, Fat Tiger and Liege were completely soft-hearted despite their sharp tongues. They had just been trolling Yifan, but they were very honest in their hearts and escorted him downstairs to give him a ride. After all, it was the stairs, even if it was just the 5th floor, and there was no elevator. If they had to carry the suitcase down normally, it would be very strenuous. Yifan was at his wit's end. When will the dormitory have an elevator? There was no other way, so he had to carry it down. In order to reduce the weight and spare the school beauty from too much suffering, Yifan asked a few roommates to help carry it down together. But the building was so tall and the suitcase was so heavy that it was still somewhat laborious for the boys to go downstairs. Yifan. At this moment, a melodious female voice sounded. The roommates who had originally been carrying the luggage with Yifan suddenly blushed. Even the guys who had been carrying Mu Shinsi's luggage up the stairs were so envious that they were exhausted from the effort of expressing their envy after hearing Mu Shinsi's call. Little did they know that this was just the beginning, and something even more shocking was about to happen. They saw the bright and beautiful Mushinsi run up the stairs and, without saying a word, take the suitcase from Yifan's hands. "It's so heavy, how can you carry it? Let me help you." Mushinsi felt the tremendous weight from below. Her hands were exhausted, and the steps were especially painful. Her eyes were about to water with pain, but she didn't care, and she rushed forward to grab the suitcase. Otherwise, her hands would dislocate. But this scene shocked everyone. You have to understand that Muzinka was a proud girl from a wealthy family. She grew up pampered and her fingers have never touched water. Does she need to carry things? Not at all. She only needs to give a look, and boys will immediately come forward to help her carry things. However, she doesn't want to be touched by boys, or even touch their things. But now, she is concerned about Yifan's tired hands and is competing to carry the heavy things. You have to know that there is a third floor and it goes all the way downstairs. There are many stairs, and the suitcase is not easy to carry downstairs at all. Not to mention a girl, even a burly boy would have a hard time. Mushinsi, however, silently carried the suitcase down the stairs without a single complaint. What she didn't know was that the entire weight was placed on Yifan. But Yifan now had the physical fitness potion, so this was nothing at all. The boys were all excited and kept coming. What a joke, the school beauty broke into the boys' dorm just to carry someone's suitcase. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I would have thought it was a lie. Wake me up. I thought the school beauty was dating Yifan, but it turns out that she was chasing Yifan. It's really sad, has the school beauty fallen so low as to become a dog licker? Seeing her still giving without complaint, I'm heartbroken. Chapter 11, the school beauty broke into the men's dormitory. And Yifan, the object of everyone's envy, was indifferent. Little Five, Fat Tiger, and Brother Lei were so shocked that their jaws were about to drop. They instantly surrounded Yifan and exclaimed in surprise. "Damn it, did you save the galaxy?" I said, "Why are you in such a hurry to move out of the dormitory? It turns out that the school flower came to pick you up." "This is outrageous, the school flower is actually chasing you." Yifan also didn't expect that he would be considered to be chased by the school flower after exchanging body sensations with her. "It's so cool. Then he will just go with the flow." Yifan shrugged, "There's no way, the charm is too great. I've already refused, and she still wants to do this, so this is the only way." How much hatred he had attracted all of a sudden, the boys all wanted to swear. "Damn you. But she is the school's beauty queen. The white moonlight in the hearts of many boys. She chased Yifan, but Yifan didn't even cherish her. The beauty queen was rejected, but she still pursued Yifan without hesitation. She loves him so much." Yifan had already gone downstairs, and Mushinsi was already waiting for him. The suitcase had already been put in the trunk. Mushinsi, who was sitting in the driver's seat, threw a glance at Yifan to imply, "Get in the car." However, this glance was mistaken by a group of onlookers who didn't know the cause and effect of the situation as Mushinsi throwing a flirtatious glance at Yifan. She was still coquettishly begging him to get in the car. The crowd was jealous. Yifan's life was too good. The school flower really loved him. Yifan got in the car and left amidst the envious and jealous stares of the crowd. The crowd was heartbroken. The hatred of having his wife taken away from him must not be forgotten. At the same time, the entire Huaqing University exploded. Not only did all the major teaching buildings and dormitories explode, but even the school intranet and school post bar all exploded. The story about the school flower breaking into the men's dormitory just to carry Yifan's suitcase spread like wildfire. Did you know that Yifan slept next to the school flower's house? It turns out that Yifan is an invisible local tyrant. Today, Yifan moved out to live on his own, and the school flower even came to pick him up in person and carried his heavy suitcase up the stairs for him. The news spread like wildfire, and in less than half an hour, it had become known throughout the entire school. As the story spread, the gossip gradually changed. Did you know that Yifan slept with the school flower? In the back, it gradually developed into, did you know that Yifan slept with the school flower? The whole school was shocked. The boys were about to split on the spot. The beautiful goddess in their hearts had been defiled by Yifan. The goddess even willingly sent him 1,000 miles. Ah, this is a loss of morality, or a distortion of humanity. However, Mushinsi, the protagonist, was completely unaware of any of this. Mushinsi had already driven Yifan home. Yifan had no idea that Mushinsi's home was a luxurious 5-story villa with its own garden and golf course. It was so big that it was almost inhuman. Such a luxurious villa was actually in the most prosperous and expensive area of the city, the Rose Garden. It could be said that every inch of land was worth a fortune. It is enough to see that the Mu family is very rich. Ding, 500 points have been awarded for detecting the host's check-in at the Mu family residence. Welcome home, Mississippi. There were pretty maids standing by the door, welcoming them home. This is Yifan, our guest. You must treat him well, Mushinsi said lightly. Yes. The maids nodded respectfully, welcoming Mr. Yi. This is a paradise for housemen, isn't it? The maids were all dressed in maid outfits, sweet-looking, with very good body proportions, some sexy, some innocent. Yifan was excited. When he was a child, he had fantasized about a scene where he was surrounded by maids who would do whatever he told them. And it had come true in just one day. But what amazed Yifan even more than the pretty maids was the luxurious interior of the house. The design was high-end, with an understated luxury and substance. Even the oil paintings hanging on the walls exuded an air of affluence. Wow! Starting today, he is actually living here. This is unbelievable. Mushinsi sat on the sofa, but she still felt the aching pain from standing. She didn't enjoy the softness of the high-end sofa at all. So she turned to Yifan and said with some resentment, "Can't you just sit for a while?" Okay, Yifan agreed. In fact, Yifan had long since enjoyed the softness of the sofa, and the springy cotton was comfortable. He didn't want to agree, but she was begging him. What else could he do but give in to her? She is beautiful. Yifan sat on the luxurious leather sofa. Mushinsi was also able to enjoy the softness of the sofa, and a trace of satisfaction and comfort appeared on her face. When she was leisurely and comfortable, her beautiful and dazzling eyes were slightly closed, and there was not much trace of coldness, but rather some naivety. Yifan looked at her up close, and his heart itched. It's like a dream, to be under the same roof as the school beauty. The system really didn't lie to him. It really is invisible welfare. You can treat this as your own home, eat and use whatever you like. She lazily glanced at Yifan, and when our body temperature exchange was over, our relationship was also interrupted. Okay. Yifan had no objections. After all, the relationship would end in 2 months. By that time, he would have enjoyed everything he should have, and with the points in hand, the world would be his. Where will I stay tonight? Yifan wondered. Sleep in my room. Mushinsi blurted out. Yifan was shocked. Did he hear it right? Mushinsi said, sleep in her room. Rounded off, doesn't that mean sleeping with her? Some lustful thoughts popped up in a flash. This isn't good. Yifan scratched his head. Thinking about it, he was actually a little excited. After realizing Yifan's thoughts were not right, Mushinsi's face completely turned red. You're thinking wrong. I let you sleep in my room because I'm the one who's afraid of the bed. I'll sleep in the next room. How do you know I'm thinking wrong? Could it be that you're also thinking wrong? Yifan teased. Mushinsi's thick eyelashes blinked rapidly like a raven, obviously a little shy, her face red and embarrassed but also excited. No. Yifan snorted, I didn't think much of it, but I'm afraid you're overthinking it. I definitely won't. Mushinsi said with a loud voice, but the blush on her face didn't fade for a long time. This topic immediately made her mind recall the things she had touched in the past few days. Boom. Her thoughts got all mixed up. Her face turned even redder. You can't be stubborn. What on earth is she thinking about? After calming down, Mushinsi started to show Yifan around the room. Yifan was a little excited when he saw Mushinsi's bedroom. This is a girl's room. It smells so good. It's the sweet peach smell that belongs to Mushinsi. Then, he even discovered her little secret, that she actually collected such knickknacks. 3. Chapter 12, So this is the school flowers room. The whole room is big and clean, with neat furnishings. The highlight is the pale pink color, which is exactly a girly princess room full of hearts. I really didn't expect the aloof school flower to love pink so much. Not only that, there are quite a few cute dolls on the bed. At night, do you like to sleep hugging a doll? Yifan sat on Mushinsi's bed. When Yifan grabbed the teddy bear, Mushinsi's face suddenly turned red. She pretended to be fierce and took the doll away. None of your business. Very cute. Yifan looked at the way Mushinsi was protecting the doll, and his mouth curled up. Mushinsi looked at the handsome face close at hand. Her heart was pounding. She hadn't paid much attention before, but now she felt that he had become much more handsome. He exuded a charm from head to toe. She was so shy that she didn't dare to look at him. Yifan's voice sounded again, the doll is very cute. Maxinci immediately calmed down. She had the wrong idea about him. The closet is empty, I'll put my clothes in. Yifan's voice sounded. Maxinci heard the sound of the closet being opened. Oh no, it's over. She seemed to have forgotten to empty the closet. Maxinci turned her head sharply and discovered Yifan was looking at her closet. Her face turned red. Yifan was dumbfounded at the moment. He had discovered many interesting things. In addition to the pretty little designer dresses, there were also all kinds of JK styles. Is this the closet of a rich woman? I'll organize it, don't put anything in yet. Mushinsi twisted her face, blushing uncontrollably, and quickly rushed over to close the closet. However, Yifan's hand did not have time to pull away, and his finger was caught for a moment. Ah! It hurts. Mushinsi covered her palm, which was killing her, and tears came out. Are you okay? Yifan was very compassionate. I didn't mean to open it, I just wanted to put the clothes in. I'm sorry. Yifan had no sense of pain, and this pain was suffered by Mushinsi. Oh! Mushinsi bit her red lips, her eyelashes fluttering, and small tears of grievance already flowing down her face. Hey, don't cry. Yifan is not afraid of anything, but he is afraid of girls crying. He is clearly a little overwhelmed at the moment. I inexplicably exchanged touches with you, and now you're bullying me. Mushinsi sobbed, her originally cold voice turning into a soft, mellow little baby voice. Yifan looked at her watery eyes and red nose, and she looked completely pitiful, so he felt very compassionate. I didn't bully you, and besides, you pinched my hand yourself. Mushinsi. That's what you say, but the pain is in her body. Don't cry, I'll put some ointment on it. Yifan coaxed Mushinsi. With tears in her eyes, Mushinsi emphasized, I'll do it. Okay, do it for me. Mushinsi's face eased a little. After she had someone bring the medical kit, when Yifan subconsciously wanted to apply the medicine, he was stopped by Mushinsi. I'll do it. You just sit there. Mushinsi reminded him, if you hurt yourself again, I'll be the one who suffers. Yifan didn't resist, and held out his finger for Mushinsi to apply medicine. Mushinsi grasped his hand and took a good look at it for the first time, and she noticed that his hands were really slender. These hands are very suitable for playing the piano. The fingers are clearly defined, clean, and white. They're quite good looking. Boom. Mushinsi's face was flushed, and she shook her head, quickly disinfecting Yifan. Ding, Mushinsi has disinfected you, earning 200 points. Yifan looked at Mushinsi. The touch of their hands grasping each other was very real. She lowered her pretty, fair face, her cheeks still a little flushed. After disinfecting him, she used her full, red lips to blow on his fingers. Yifan immediately felt his heart racing. Mushinsi is so gentle now. She even blew on the place where he was pinched, so soft and cute. Where is the cool and aloof school beauty? Her image has completely collapsed now, hasn't it? She just looks cute. Her lips look so soft. Now that Mushinsi is meticulously applying medicine to his wounds, Yifan's heart is fluttering with joy. He is probably the first guy to be taken so seriously by Mushinsi. The medicine has been applied, so try not to go in the water today. Mushinsi said. Okay. Yifan agreed. And don't go rummaging through my room. I'll empty the closet and give you space to put your things. Mushinsi blushed as she said this. Okay. So Yifan saw Mushinsi run over to the closet, and subconsciously move all her clothes to the next room. After the packing was finished, Mushinsi, like a rabbit, dashed out with a red face. Yifan was full of interest. He suddenly felt that the school flower was quite interesting. It was really interesting. After Mushinsi left, Yifan lay down on the big bed. He entered the system background and performed 5 consecutive draws. Immediately afterwards, he drew a gift that made him very happy, as follows. Chapter 13, The Iceberg School Flowers Coquettish Please. Ding! Congratulations, host, you have drawn a double deposit bonus card. Ding! Congratulations, host, you have drawn the right to purchase limited edition game skins. Ding! Congratulations, host, You have obtained super fighting ability, with the superb punching power and skills of a boxing champion. Not bad, I've drawn 3 prizes, and they're all very practical. Yifan used the double deposit bonus card. The double deposit bonus card means that all his deposits will be doubled. Yifan now has a total of more than 8 million yuan. In the blink of an eye, using the card, his money has become more than 16 million yuan. Wow! Excellent! Now he has become a multi-millionaire. This is great, and this kind of double deposit card is the best, the more the better. Afterwards, he can just lie back and make money. But Yifan has an investment information card, so he is not worried about not making money. Yifan used the search engine to find the contact information for Jiayue Media Brokerage. He quickly got in touch with the other party and arranged to meet the next afternoon to discuss cooperation. It's done. It really went much more smoothly than Yifan had expected. As long as he invests in Jiayue Media and becomes the largest shareholder, he will have a steady stream of income. By then, he can buy limited edition sports cars whenever he wants, buy luxury mansions whenever he wants, and travel the world whenever he wants. Yifan was in a very happy mood. He remembered that the system also rewarded super combat ability, and he couldn't wait to see the effect. Yifan heard the maid say that in addition to the gym, there was also a boxing room in the villa, so he immediately went to take a look. Good stuff. As soon as he saw it, Yifan was shocked. This is practically a dedicated venue for competitions. The entire boxing room was quite well decorated, and all the necessary equipment was there. Yifan was so absorbed that he forgot about the exchange. He was itching to try it out, so he picked up a pair of boxing gloves and started throwing a few punches at the bag. Bang bang bang. Awesome. It looked like he really knew how to box now, with the right technique. He could definitely kill a few authors like Yi Yi with just one punch. Ha! He's got some skills. So who was he afraid of? If you don't believe me, just fight me. Anyone who came in front of him would be left with their teeth all over the floor. What's there to fear from kidnappers and gangsters? There's no need for security at all. Just fight hand-to-hand combat with your bare hands. Yifan was about to stop when the door to the boxing room opened. You, take a break. A tired voice sounded. Yifan saw Mu Xinxi walk in with her hand on the wall. She had a ponytail, an apricot face and peach cheeks, but she was as attractive as a drunk girl, and there was already a thin layer of sweat on her face. Even her hair was wet and stuck to her flawless white cheeks, highlighting the beautiful pinkness of her skin. At the same time, he felt guilty. He had forgotten to switch bodies. Mu Xinxi's slender, delicate fingers grabbed Yifan's clothes, and she gritted her teeth. You are going to kill me. Tears were already in her eyes, and she was aggrieved, her eyes sparkling. Finally, she could feel the soft and comfortable feeling of the mattress. Who would have thought that it would be a violent output? My fists are sore and numb. She was exhausted from all the tossing and turning. Sorry, I forgot. Yifan apologized guiltily, and subconsciously said, then let me help you go to sleep for a while? It should be you who goes to sleep for a while. Mu Xinxi emphasized. She can only enjoy it if he enjoys it. If he does anything else, won't she be exhausted to death? Okay, I'll go to sleep. Yifan coaxed, is this okay? Mu Xinxi let out a sigh of relief after hearing this. He's finally stopped boxing and is going to sleep. Then she can lie down for a while too. Wait. Mu Xinxi was about to leave when Yifan called out to her. Mu Xinxi's long eyelashes fluttered slightly. Are you going to change your mind and not go to sleep? She was really afraid now. Of course not, it's just that you're sweating all over. Are you sure you don't want to wipe it off? Yifan took the towel. You're sweating, and I don't feel comfortable either. Mu Xinxi's ears turned slightly red. She stood there, feeling Yifan's scorching gaze. As Yifan wiped the sweat from her face, she began to feel nervous. She took a deep breath and tried her best to calm her pounding heart. It seemed that he was much more handsome than before. Yifan actually had some trembling hands. The face in front of him, Mu Xinxi, had rosy cheeks, just like apples. Even though she was sweating, she still smelled good. She was worthy of being the school beauty, with fair skin that had not yet faded from her blush. Her beautiful almond-shaped eyes were gazing at Yifan, and that made Yifan feel a little distracted. Although he could not feel her touch, just her sweet breath was almost enough to make Yifan drunk. I'll do it myself. She blushed and took the towel to wipe her face. This time, Yifan was able to smoothly feel her fingers touch his smooth face. It was tender. It's like tofu. Ding, 300 points awarded for wiping the school beauty's face. The system finally responded. Okay, go rest now. Mu Xinzi muttered, reminding Yifan. Okay. Yifan thought this little alarm clock was really cute. Hee, if she were his wife in the future, that would be so much fun. Yifan took off his gloves and was about to go back to his room, but he realized that Mu Xinzi was following him. Well, is the beautiful schoolgirl Mu Xinzi going to go back with me? Yifan simply started to flirt with her. Mu Xinzi was already tired, and now she was being teased by Yifan. Her face flushed, and she took a few steps back. No way. Her red lips muttered, I'm afraid you won't sleep, so I'll wait until you're asleep before I go. I said sleeping means sleeping, how could I lie to you? Yifan grinned, don't worry, I won't mess with you anymore. Okay, then you get some rest, and if you need anything, just tell the servants. After receiving Yifan's assurance, Mu Xinzi felt much more at ease. Yifan smiled, okay. Mu Xinzi snorted arrogantly, then I'll go back to my room. Seeing her go back to her room, Yifan shook his head, looking adoring. I never thought that the cold and aloof school beauty would be such a silly and innocent girl. She's quite soft and cute. Yifan just didn't expect that there would be a major benefit waiting for him later. Chapter 14, the young lady is spoiling her husband too much, isn't she? It wasn't long before Mu Xinzi felt the softness of the Simmons bed when she returned to her room. There was also the pleasant coolness of the air conditioning. This is great. Mu Xinzi enjoyed rubbing her face against the quilt, feeling the heat gradually disappear. Her body and mind relaxed, and the aching sensation disappeared, replaced by the comfort of sleep. Mu Xinzi curled her red lips in satisfaction. You have a conscience, you didn't lie to me. Her eyes curved, and happiness appeared on her plump little face. After a good night's sleep, she woke up. Yifan noticed that it was already dark outside. When he looked at the time, it was already 8 o'clock in the evening. He had slept for many hours, so it was no wonder that she felt hungry. Yifan immediately got out of bed. The most urgent task now was to fill his stomach. Yifan thought of the bucket of Uni-President beef noodle soup in his suitcase. He immediately took it out. Instant noodles are good, they're delicious. I don't know if there's rice to eat now, so I'll just eat instant noodles for now. Yifan immediately went downstairs, soaked the noodles in hot water, and added 2 Shuanghui ham sausages. A good mix of meat and vegetables. Look at the pickled vegetables and the chewy noodles. It's so good that it made the kid next door cry with hunger. Yifan opened the lid and began to eat the instant noodles with relish. The first bite went down his throat, and it was tasteless. It tasted like plain boiled water. Right, he had exchanged taste buds with Mu Xinci. As long as she was full, he would say whatever she wanted. Yifan didn't care about anything else, and took another sip of the noodles, eating it with just plain water. Stop it. While Yifan was eating the instant noodles, there was a thumping sound on the stairs, followed by a running sound. Soon, a slender figure appeared. She put her hands on the table and looked at Yifan. How can you eat instant noodles? Mu Xinzi said in a small voice, covering her nose, because she didn't want to smell the pungent smell of instant noodles with pickled vegetables. I'm hungry, what's wrong with eating instant noodles? Yifan was surprised. I'm just a common person, I don't care about such things, as long as I have something to eat. I haven't treated you badly, I've even added 2 ham sausages for you, how about I add a hard-boiled egg too? Mu Xinzi wanted to cry but had no tears. It's not about adding ham sausages and hard-boiled eggs. It's that she simply doesn't like instant noodles. Not only are they not nutritious, but the one Yifan is eating is the most heavily flavored instant noodles with beef and a jar of pickled vegetables. How can she bear it? Absolutely not. She was happily sleeping upstairs, but then she was suffocated by the smell of instant noodles, and she could taste the preservative-filled sour cabbage flavor of the instant noodles, and she almost threw up. So she quickly went downstairs to stop Yifan from eating instant noodles. She subconsciously took the instant noodles away, confiscated them, and said, no more instant noodles for you in the future. Yifan was confused, if I don't eat instant noodles, what will I eat? In fact, instant noodles are quite tasty, very delicious. Come with me. Mu Xinzi immediately threw the instant noodles away and took Yifan away. Yifan was taken by Mu Xinzi to somewhere in the villa. What a restaurant! It's really extravagant to bring an expensive restaurant into your home. The decoration cost must be very high, and the design is very romantic. After Mu Xinxi took Yifan to a seat, a chef came over and respectfully nodded, Mr. Yi. The chef had long heard that the young lady of the house had, against all odds, brought a man home. You see, the young lady usually doesn't care for men, so how could she have brought one home? And to let him stay at home with her, that's absolutely unprecedented. Not only that, but the young lady is also said to be treating this man with special care. She even moved out of her own room so that he could rest well and be happy. She has arranged everything to the last detail, for fear of neglecting the man. This has caused a sensation and shocked the servants in the family. In the past, there have been people who have gone out of their way to treat the young lady well, but when have they ever seen the young lady care so much about other people? Even Mr. Mu, the father of Mu Xinxi, has not been treated so well. Now a boy who has suddenly dropped in has received the young lady's attention. If Mr. Mu, who has gone abroad to work, knew about this, I'm afraid he would die of a broken heart. The chef's eyes lit up as soon as he saw Yifan. As a chef, he is ashamed to compare himself to him. No wonder the usually cold-natured young lady has become so hospitable. Look, the other person is really good-looking. Starry eyes, thin lips, extraordinarily handsome, standing proudly, with an air of majesty. Forgive him for having so little vocabulary. In layman's terms, he is just super handsome. He is on a par with the looks of Edison Chen and Daniel Wu when they were young. No wonder the young lady is charmed. Looks like I need to hold on to his leg. What's so good about this? Yifan had never been here before, so he didn't know what the chef's specialties were. The chef immediately started talking about his specialties. Yifan was amazed. Stop, just tell me what you can't cook. Yifan asked. It seems that there is nothing I can't do. I was a state banquet chef before. The chef sounded a little smug. Yifan was stunned, is that true? It turns out that you can hire a state banquet chef as a cook, which proves that you won't be shortchanged. It really is true that money can buy anything. Mu Xinxi, however, said calmly, my father hired him specifically because he was afraid that I wouldn't eat well. Yifan knew that the chairman of the Mu family particularly doted on his daughter, but he didn't expect it to be this much. In the future, when he gets rich, he'll have to copy this and get his family a state banquet chef too. If you don't know what to eat, I'll order 2 charcoal grilled Australian M9 steaks with port wine sauce, pasta with Kaluga caviar, French foie gras with salad, black truffle duck breast pizza, salmon seared sushi, cream-baked Boston lobster, mango and avocado shrimp salad, strawberry mousse. Mushin Porcelain easily recited a long list of dishes. The chef was thrilled to hear it. This is a great dish. Look, the Australian M9 is a top-grade steak. Compared to its high price, the meat is very tender and delicious, not to mention the expensive port wine sauce, which requires special attention to the heat to make a delicate dish. The Karuaga caviar is even a high-end product used by dozens of Michelin restaurants. Just 1 gram costs several hundred. Not to mention Boston lobsters, duck breasts with black truffles, and all these other expensive and delicious dishes. If it's just an ordinary guest, you can just casually serve them something, but if you can treat someone with such expensive and high-class cuisine, they are definitely of the utmost importance. Okay, I'll go right away. The chef got excited and immediately went to the kitchen. Yifan sat in his seat, looking forward to it with excitement. This was the first time he would be able to taste the food made by a state banquet chef. Just hearing the delicious food described by Mu Xinxi made Yifan want to drool. Luckily, he hadn't eaten instant noodles, because they would have been instantly obliterated by the delicious food. But Yifan didn't realize that unexpected events would follow one after the other. Chapter 15, The School Beauty lent me her supercar and exposed my millions of assets. After a short wait, the exquisite dishes were served one after the other. The first to arrive was the French foie gras with salad. Just looking at the appearance of the dish, the vegetables were very fresh, and with the addition of the tempting foie gras, the taste was enticing. The foie gras was really mellow and delicious, and the taste was not overpowering when paired with the vegetables, leaving a sweet aftertaste. Yifan's taste buds were greatly satisfied. He then ate the charcoal-grilled Australian M9 steak with Mu Xan porcelain. The sauce was the perfect finishing touch, with a bouquet of port wine that was exceptionally pleasant and appetizing. Not to mention the steak was tender and juicy, and the gravy splashed open as soon as it was cut. When it entered his mouth, it was crispy on the outside and tender on the inside, mixed with the sweet and luscious sauce. This was definitely the most delicious steak he had ever eaten. As expected, the price went up, and the food did not get worse. Yifan was relishing every bite, and he let out a sigh of admiration in his heart. The dishes made by the state banquet chef were truly worthy of the reputation. Although the ingredients were important, the level of culinary skill was most important. No wonder they pay so much to hire a chef. It's simply so much better than what an ordinary chef can cook. After eating, Yifan felt a sense of satisfaction in his body and soul like never before. It was delicious. Now that the state banquet chef is at home, he can eat such delicious food every day. Just thinking about it made him feel great. Not only was Yifan satisfied, but Mu Xinxi was also very comfortable. She was finally able to have a proper meal through Yifan's mouth. The chef's level was as usual. Mu Xinxi was already overjoyed to be able to eat meat. Isn't this much better than instant noodles? If she hadn't stopped in time, she would probably have to eat instant noodles today. Are you full? Mu Xinxi wiped her mouth and asked Yifan if she was full to follow her. Where to? Yifan was curious. You'll find out in a moment. Yifan felt that it was very mysterious, but since she had said so, he just followed her. Her family was so rich, so she couldn't possibly be taking him to cut his kidneys. What was there to be afraid of? Yifan followed Mu Xinxi with an open heart. He just didn't expect that Mu Xinxi would bring him to the garage. Yifan was instantly shocked by the scene before him. Is this a garage? Are you sure it's not a parking lot? There were more than 100 cars parked inside. Ferrari, Lamborghini, Maserati, Aston Martin, Bentley, Rolls-Royce, Bugatti Veyron, Pagani McLaren. Yifan exclaimed. There's even a Koenigsegg 11? This is not a limited edition, and you can't buy it even if you have money. Yifan couldn't put down the dream car after seeing it. He now actually touched the highly regarded Koenigsegg 11 in the underworld. He was so excited. You like it? Then you drive it. Mu Xinxi said lightly. You're not kidding, you want me to drive it? Yifan was shocked. If it's a limited edition luxury car like this, isn't it usually just for display? I can't drive you around all the time. As long as you have a license, you can drive any car here. Mu Xinxi said indifferently, I only have one request. No crashing? Yifan interrupted. No. Mu Xinxi glared at him, no squeezing on the bus or subway, no riding a bicycle. It is easy to enter luxury, but difficult to live a simple life, especially since Mu Xinxi was born with a silver spoon in her mouth since childhood and has enjoyed only the best things. Now that the weather is gradually getting hotter, asking her to get on a crowded bus and smell the strange smells is a great ordeal for her. Of course, Yifan cannot ride a bicycle either. Yifan has such good physical strength and is so powerful. If she has to ride a bicycle all day, her legs will be weak. Instead, she cannot prevent problems before they arise. If she gave Yifan a car to drive, she would feel more comfortable. Yifan also didn't expect Mu Xinxi to have such strange requests, but upon thinking about it, she had been spoiled since childhood, so it was normal for her to make these requests. But that's good, he's the one who gets to enjoy it. Okay, no problem. Yifan smiled at Mu Xinxi. Mu Xinxi let out a sigh of relief. Luckily, he agreed. Otherwise, she really didn't know how to convince him. Mu Xinxi immediately told the butler to give Yifan a set of car keys. Yifan then started the old driver on the road and test drove the Koenigsegg 11. It was a limited edition luxury car, and its experience function was really not to be underestimated. It drove super cool, had airbags, the interior was finely furnished, and it was very enjoyable to drive. Yifan finally understood why so many people would spend tens of millions of dollars on a luxury car. It wasn't just for showing off, the performance was really good. Yifan was particularly satisfied after slipping around for a few laps. After getting out of the car, Yifan promised Mu Xinxi, don't worry, I'll definitely drive it a lot. With the Koenigsegg 11, his Kawasaki H2 will have to be put on hold. Mu Xinxi gave a sincere smile when she heard Yifan's words. That's great. This is the happiest news she's heard in a few days. Little did she know that Yifan was of course the happiest. After all, which man doesn't love to drive? After getting the car keys, Yifan went upstairs. It was only a little after 8, so he planned to play some games before going to bed. He didn't realize that the villa had a dedicated esports room, which was even more fully equipped than an internet cafe. This instantly excited Yifan. First was the limited edition custom-made Kai Loli-style Fat House Happy Chair. This is a leather ergonomic seat designed in the style of a space capsule. It was completely amazing. You can recline it to any angle and it's not tiring at all. It's also convenient for playing games, and is simply a must-have for lazy people. At first, he was tempted. But Yifan wanted to buy it, but the price discouraged him. A similar one would cost at least 30,000 yuan. The Muge one was estimated to be even more expensive. Yifan lay back and enjoyed it. This angle was so comfortable for playing games. Very comfortable. Does it have a ROG Super God X? Yifan was even more excited when he glanced at the computer on the table. This is a super hardcore high-end computer. Everything is good, the only drawback is that it's too expensive. Ordinary people simply cannot afford it, and the starting price is 59,999 yuan. In addition to the ROG Supreme X, there was even an Alien A2521H monitor, which had an extremely high frame rate. Even the keyboard was a top brand, with an estimated value of at least 10,000, not to mention the headphones. The configuration of all the peripherals was the best. This fully satisfied Yifan, an internet-addicted teenager. He was even more than satisfied. He thought of the skills given by the system, ultra-high god-level gaming ability, and limited game skin purchase rights. I have to show people what I can do with my skills, otherwise it would be a waste if I just sit around and do nothing. Yifan first opened League of Legends. He had started playing League of Legends a bit late, and had not bought many skins, mainly because they were not cheap. After some time, the skins became limited edition, and he regretted not buying them. Fortunately, he now had the right to buy limited edition skins. This made Yifan's dream come true. Yifan even received a mysterious reward because of this. The school beauty queen actually. Chapter 16, I have everything I've ever dreamed of. After Yifan used the item, the limited skin mall that had quickly passed began to open exclusively for him. There were rare skins such as Braveheart Drius, Silver Trial Kyle, Dragonblind Colorful Skin, Star-Slaying Demon Swordsman, Invincible Jax, and the 3rd anniversary limited skins such as Video Game Goddess Lady Luck, Video Game Goddess Fox, and Jade Sword Legend Shadowless Tyrone. There was everything. It completely satisfied Yifan's needs. Yifan was overjoyed. He immediately started clicking to buy with the mouse, only to discover that he didn't have a dime. Free. Wow, this is really cool. The system really understands him. Yifan got it all in one go. Yifan was very satisfied after obtaining all the skins. He also started to open the WeChat on his phone and shouted into the dormitory group. Yifan, everyone, LOL is online, let's play. The previously quiet WeChat group exploded instantly. Fat Tiger, the missing person has returned? I thought you were indulging in the sweet life and had forgotten about us. Little 5, you're not sweetly double dating the school beauty, and you're thinking about games? Brother Lei Yi, you're super popular at school right now, I advise you not to come to school for the next few days, or I'm afraid you'll be secretly attacked. You've become the public enemy of all the boys in school, so you'd better watch yourself. Yifan thought about how Mu Xinxi drove and took him away, which was sensational enough to shake the whole school. After all, Mu Xinxi was a goddess of the masses, with countless licks. It was estimated that tonight would be a sleepless night and a difficult night for many licks. But what did it matter to him? As long as he was happy, that was fine. Are we still playing games? Yifan sent a voice message. The three of them said in unison, online now. Before long, they had successfully formed a team together. When it came time to choose heroes, Xiaowu said to Yifan, you play support. Yifan is the all-round support. After all, he usually wins by default and needs Xiaowu to carry the team. No, I'll just play jungler. Yifan said decisively. This sentence instantly surprised Xiaowu, Fat Tiger, and Liege. Are you serious? Last time you played jungler, do you remember how poor our gaming experience was? Fat Tiger got excited. Xiaowu nodded, yes, the other team was laughing at us, and you kept giving away lives. Liege, nothing is impossible in the world, as long as you are willing to give up. There is actually nothing wrong with playing support. Yifan, however, was unwavering in his decision. Let me try, it will definitely be different from before. He now has god-level skills, and is no longer the rookie he was before. Fine, let him try, I'll carry the meat anyway. Xiaowu nodded. Lego agreed, I'll do my best and try to output a lot in this round. It's just a game, so just have fun and the outcome doesn't matter. Fat Tiger agreed. Since Yi Fan wants to play, let him. If he loses, so be it. At least the four of them are all together and having fun. What else can you do? Just spoil Yi Fan anyway. After all, Yi Fan is the youngest in the dorm. Yi Fan was still a little moved by his roommate's reaction. Before, he had played so poorly, and these brothers had never scolded him. This time, he wanted to show off and take his brothers for a ride. It so happened that the other teammate who had just arrived saw that Xiao Wu and the others all had ordinary skins, so he proudly showed off his new skin. It's pretty cool, right? It's expensive, I spent hundreds of dollars to get it. Xiao Wu and the others were a little envious when they saw it. This new skin is what they have always wanted. But it's so expensive, and you don't know if you'll get it even if you spend a lot of gold, so it's not worth it for students. So they're deterred. Yi Fan looked at it and said, "It's just SOSO." His teammate said disdainfully, "Forget it, you're just jealous because you can't get it." "Sorry, I can," Yi Fan said dismissively. He wasn't bragging, but the skin the other person was showing off happened to be the one he had just gotten. And it was a free skin. Who would believe it? However, as soon as the words fell, the opponent saw Yi Fan select the hero skin. The blind monk skin is actually the dragon's heir. His teammates' breathing caught. This skin is so difficult to obtain as a limited time skin that its rarity is off the charts. It is the one skin he wants most. But he can't get it no matter what. He rarely even sees this skin on his opponents. Unexpectedly, the teammate he has now matched with has this. And he just mocked the opponent for being jealous of him. How could he still value the skin he got in the match when he has this expensive limited edition skin? He was instantly killed. His teammate's face was also slapped. Xiao Wu exclaimed in awe, "Wow, you have this skin." Fat Tiger was excited, "You really are the man, I want to use your account." Lega let out a surprised sound, "When did you join? You're really a hidden talent. Aren't you a bit too low-key?" Yi Fan touched his nose, a little proud, "Isn't this using it, showing off a bit?" The other person was very stubborn, "Is a limited edition skin amazing? Playing games relies on skill, if you play like shit, you might as well quit. 9 out of 10 Krypton gold bosses are losers, and the other one is a fly-by-night." Yi Fan raised an eyebrow, "Then let me show you some real skill." Originally, the roommates were worried about Yi Fan secretly developing, and they had to let Yi Fan win the game in style. It turned out that they were all superfluous. They didn't need their support. Yi Fan's gaming skills were simply off the charts. He killed like crazy. He killed one after another, two after two, and a whole group of people all at once. It was only 10 minutes, and they didn't even need to push the tower, the opponents all surrendered. His roommates were all dumbfounded. Not only did they win easily, but Yi Fan also led them to victory? Damn, you didn't hire a substitute player, did you? Since when did you become so skilled? If you keep this up, you'll be a pro in no time. Yi, you're really something, a god, take my knee. Yi Fan said indifferently, "It's just that the skin feels good." Of course, the computer at the school beauty's house always works well, and the internet speed is awesome. But he didn't say that, otherwise he would attract so much hatred. The arrogant teammate who had just been arrogant was taken back to the room and let out a gasp. He felt like a fool. What he had just said was nothing but an insult. What's wrong with the kryptonite boss? Yi Fan can afford kryptonite and is also very skilled. What do you think, are you convinced now? Xiao Wu asked triumphantly. He was so happy right now, his buddy had done him proud. He had let this greenhorn lead the way, and now he was getting slapped in the face. Ding dong. Yi Fan was prepared for the other person to give him a tongue lashing. Instead, a friend request alert appeared on his newsfeed. "Big brother, please take me with you. I'm on my knees. Will you take me as your disciple? I was blind and didn't recognize you just now. Yi Fan. My boy, where is your backbone?" Not only this person, but also the 5 people on the opposite team in the last game all sent friend requests. They were all trying to get on the bandwagon. "Great God, I'll send you some skin, just add me as a friend. Big shot, I have a lot of PLMM photos, add me on WeChat and I'll send them to you. Big brother, I can give you a discount if you want. I have a pretty little sister, but I can't tell you about her." Yi Fan. Chapter 17, Game or Pretty Sister? The night was getting deeper. Mu Xinxi changed into some lighter and more comfortable pajamas. She was already in bed, ready to fall asleep. But her mind was wide awake. She could not only feel her fingers tapping on the keyboard. She could also feel the numbness from sitting still for so long. Most importantly, her nerve endings were constantly excited. It was going to be a long night. Bang! Mu Xinci sat up in bed in an instant. This is not going to let her sleep. At this moment, Yi Fan was playing the game with great enthusiasm. He had won 20 games in a row. This great god skill is so awesome. The opponent on the other side is no match at all. It is said that LOL is a game for 5 people, but he alone is worth 5. When a game started, there were even more than 40 people watching. This made Yi Fan feel very excited, and this was the highlight of the game that he had never experienced before. While he was playing the game with all his passion, suddenly a figure appeared in front of him. Knock, knock, knock. His desktop was knocked. Yi Fan looked in the direction of the sound and was shocked by the sizzling scene in front of him. Mu Xinxi was standing in front of him, wearing a V-neck sleepwear, her long black hair falling over her shoulders. Her pretty face was completely fresh, pure, and charming. With a swan-like neck, a water snake waist and long legs, she exuded a youthful and delicious aroma of peaches. Yi Fan had no heart to play the game. Can I go to bed now? Mu Xinxi's red lips muttered, and she rubbed her sleepy eyes. It was already 1 o'clock, and she had to go to class tomorrow. She was obviously still in a grumpy mood from waking up, and what she said was a complaint, but in reality it was no different from being a spoiled child. Yi Fan froze for a moment, so absorbed in the game that he had forgotten the time. Oh, it's so late. I'm sorry, so I'll just finish this last game and stop playing. Yi Fan replied. After all, he couldn't just hang up and abandon his teammate. Is this the last game? Mu Xinxi asked. It really is the last game, and I'll be done after this one. Then I'll sit next to you and watch. There was no chair next to him, so Mu Xinxi simply sat on the computer table. She knew that boys loved playing games the most. If she didn't keep an eye on him, Yi Fan might really play all night. Sigh, she was really sleepy and wanted to go to sleep. Mu Xinko yawned, and her originally flawless face, with a touch of laziness and languor, made Yi Fan's breathing become even more rapid. She was particularly close to Yi Fan, and Yi Fan could catch a glimpse of her whenever he glanced over. Yi Fan could not understand those straight men who could have a girlfriend and still play games. If it were him, he would definitely want them all. Yi Fan's face was completely flushed. Ever since Mu Xinxi appeared, he had been completely distracted. On top of that, the sound of his roommates' voices was filling his headphones. What's going on? Suddenly, the microphone went off. Xiao Wu asked curiously. Yes, why didn't they say anything? Could it be that there's a pretty girl hiding in the room? Fat Tiger teased happily. Yi Fan's face turned even redder. He didn't expect to be guessed right. He was now next to a beautiful woman, and she was especially close. Especially when Mu Xian was sleepy, her eyelids were slightly closed, and she looked at him as if she were full of love. Being looked at by such a beautiful woman, Yi Fan naturally felt a lot of pressure. But he definitely couldn't say directly that the school flower was in his room, otherwise it would cause a huge uproar. Thinking about it carefully, a man and a woman, in the middle of the night, alone in the same room. Don't these old lechers think about it? Yi Fan opened his microphone and quickly replied, they're thinking too much, they're just concentrating on killing you. He was afraid of being heard making strange noises, and really being discovered that someone was nearby, so Yi Fan quickly turned off his microphone. Yi Fan didn't care about the bantering between his friends. He just wanted to end the game quickly. Fortunately, it wasn't long before Yi Fan successfully pushed the tower and the game was over. Yi Fan successfully logged off and took off his headset, relieved. It felt like playing an undercover mission, sneaking around and being afraid of being discovered. It's over, Yi Fan said to Mu Xinxi. Mu Xinxi, who was feeling sleepy, finally showed a happy expression on her face after hearing this. He can finally go to sleep. She was really sleepy. But she noticed that after Yi Fan returned to the room, he wasn't going to sleep, but was looking for something. What are you doing? You're not going to sleep again, are you going to exercise? If he's going to go to the gym at night, she'll be exhausted. Mu Xinxi anxiously reached forward and grabbed a corner of Yi Fan's shirt. The system beeped, congratulations, host, interaction value detected, 300 points awarded. Yi Fan's body trembled. He could feel her soft little hands grasping the corner of his shirt. When he looked back, he met her pair of crystal clear, dewy eyes. Her anxious and eager little expression was so moving. I don't think there's anything wrong with exercising before bed. Yi Fan raised the corner of his lips and deliberately walked forward. As a result, Mu Xinxi firmly gripped his clothes with both hands and glared at him with her little feet. Don't go, let's go to bed. Are you sure it's us going to bed? Yi Fan deliberately emphasized the word us. And he walled Mu Xinxi in with one hand. Yi Fan's face was pressed very close. So close that Mu Xinxi felt like he was about to kiss her. She was now very embarrassed and shy, and her pretty little face was completely flushed with shame. His eyes revealed 3 parts coldness, 3 parts ridicule, and 4 parts carelessness. It made her heart keep pounding like a little deer. I said the wrong thing. Anyway, can't you just go to sleep? Mu Xinxi's skin was completely hot and burning, and she muttered. She was a little afraid to look directly into Yi Fan's dark eyes. It's fine, I just want to take a shower. Yi Fan's face lowered slightly. After all, you don't want to sleep smelling my sweat, do you? Mu Xinxi couldn't help but raise her eyes. His 3-dimensional handsome silhouette made her body completely numb. Yi Fan was different from other sweaty boys. He had a faint soapy smell, which was quite refreshing and didn't make Mu Xinxi feel unpleasant. But the words he said made her feel ashamed. She quickly bent down and squeezed out of Yi Fan's arms. Then go quickly. You didn't want to go just now, and now you're rushing me? Yi Fan's eyes were full of laughter, teasingly. P.S. Yi Fan is growing up, a straight man. I will make him change his personality for the better in the future, so please be patient. Chapter 18: The Consequences of the Schoolflower's Synchronized Experience. She walked directly up to him and pushed Yi Fan's back, blushing as she said, Just go already. I'm really sleepy. Her aggrieved voice carried a hint of coquettish affection. Yi Fan was in a good mood and, following her lead, entered the bathroom to start showering. After he went in, Mu Xinxi returned to the big bed in her own room and lay down. Although she didn't hear the sound of water splashing, she could feel him taking a shower. Mu Xinxi's heart was racing, and she was embarrassed, so she buried her face in the pillow. She muttered, Hurry up and finish. Her pretty little face was completely covered in blush, and she kept rubbing her pillow. What a shame. If it weren't for the fact that she didn't want to die of embarrassment, she would really want to knock on the door and tell Yi Fan to stop showering. Fortunately, Yi Fan finally finished showering after a while, and Mu Xinxi felt relieved. Yi Fan should have laid down. The skin that felt refreshed after washing was pressed against the soft big bed. This made Mu Xinxi feel relieved. Her soft little face was contentedly pressed against the sheets, and the corner of her lips couldn't help but go up. The next day, Yi Fan got up from the big Simmons bed. This bed was so comfortable to sleep on. It's also not like the wooden bed at school, where you can't stretch out your legs and can't fully stretch out. Yi Fan rolled around in bed a few times and was fine. The bed was so big that he couldn't fall off. Plus, Mu Xinxi was also sleeping on a first-class, super good bed, so Yi Fan enjoyed an extremely good night's sleep. As Yi Fan was getting ready to get up, although he felt the touch of the other person's fingers stroking his shoulders, as if they were playing with his hair. Yi Fan narrowed his eyes slightly. He already had a mental image. It was as if a graceful figure sat in front of him, her long hair reaching her waist. Her slender fingers played with her long hair, which was fresh and pure. The sense of substitution was too strong. If she were his wife, that would be great. In order to avoid thinking about it in the wrong way, he immediately started doing sit-ups. Knock, knock, knock. There was a knock on the door. Yi Fan, don't go too far. Pay attention to rest. Outside, there was a shy and stubborn voice calling. This was also unexpected, and it took Yi Fan by surprise. Yi Fan felt embarrassed. He didn't expect her to find out that he was exercising. It was indeed a bit too much, and he really needed to rest. I'm sorry. Yi Fan apologized, but he could already feel the footsteps getting farther and farther away. It was obvious that she had left without answering. Yi Fan scratched his head. What was he going to do? Now that they were switching bodies, it was a matter of the two of them. Although it was inconvenient, they still needed to rest more and exercise less. After Yi Fan washed up, he went downstairs to eat. Mu Xinxi was wearing a light blue sailor uniform. Her miniskirt just reached above her knees, and the black silk wrapped her fair legs, slender and beautiful. Sitting in her seat, he watched her little face, which was still red, bury her head and start eating porridge. This scene entered Yifan's eyes, and he felt very apologetic. What happened this morning? What happened this morning? I don't remember, so don't mention it. She drank very quickly, then said awkwardly, I'm going to school. She quickly escaped. Yifan's mind conjured up the image of Mu Xinxi's ears turning red and her cheeks flushing, and he couldn't help but smile, a little happy. This school flower is not aloof at all. She's quite cute. In the morning, Yifan drove the Koenigsegg 11 to school. When the cool Koenigsegg 11 drove on campus, it got a lot of attention. The boys' eyes were glued to it. After all, they had seen people driving Wuling Hongguan, Mercedes-Benz and BMWs, but who had ever seen someone driving a Koenigsegg? Before long, someone was already taking pictures with their mobile phone. Wow, this looks like a Koenigsegg sports car. Who could drive such a cool car to school? It's so cool, I'll take a photo and post it on WeChat Moments. I wonder which rich kid drove it again. Do you think this is something an ordinary rich kid can drive? This seems to be the Koenigsegg 11. There are only a few of these cars in the world, and you can't even buy it if you have money. I never thought I would see one at our university. Chapter 19 Yifan, what if the department flower likes you? Someone else replied disdainfully. In fact, this kind of sports car is not that great, it uses a lot of fuel, it's not as good as my Emma electric car, you can just set off immediately if you love it. This was invariably dismissed as sour grapes. After all, a single part of a Koenigsegg costs almost as much as an electric car. Yifan parked his sports car and went to class. Once he entered the building, he caused a group of girls to blush. They shyly chased after him all the way, peeking at him the whole time. Yifan is really handsome. I heard that the school's most popular guy used to be Yifan, but he lost the title because the school's most popular guy is the principal's nephew and Yifan is shorter than him. Yes, he's much more handsome than before, and it seems like he's grown taller too. He's over 1.8 meters now. I wonder if I have to stand on tiptoe to kiss him if I go out with him. Whoever's urine is sweet, hurry up and wake her up, she's already daydreaming. The school flower even offered herself up. What chance do we have? Hey, that's right, why is my rival the school flower? I heard that the school flower is still fawning over him. I'm a complete loser. The girl sighed, wishing that Yifan liked them, but they can only dream. Yifan didn't even look at them. Yifan naturally also attracted the attention of the boys. An admirer of the school flower heard the rumors on the forum and started to spit out jealousy. Damn, he even slept with the school flower, and this kid is just good looking. But then he was poured cold water on by another companion. You think he's just good looking? Have you seen the sports car keys in his hand? That's his backing. I heard his family is really rich now, and he's just a playboy who wants to experience life. I saw him riding a Kawasaki H2 before. I took a closer look. Sure enough, Yifan was holding a set of sports car keys in his hand. This moment made people feel depressed. Ah! How can someone like this live? He's good looking and rich. It's just that his grades are almost zero, so I feel better about myself. Can grades buy you food? He's so rich already, he'll just inherit the family business in the future, so what's the point of getting a degree? Those of us with good grades are just working for him. That's true. From this perspective, he's more than good enough for the school beauty queen. Who would dare say anything against Yifan now? No one is as good looking as Yifan. No one is as rich as Yifan. And the school beauty queen is chasing after him? How can he compare with other people? It's really frustrating to be compared to others. Soon Yifan walked into the classroom, and he noticed that he was instantly targeted by a group of guys. Brother Yi, you're here? Your heroic deeds have spread all over the school. The school flower even brought you milk tea and carried your luggage. That's awesome, you've really brought us guys glory. Yes, it's always been the guys chasing after the school flower. When did the status reverse? It's so cool. Are you really in a relationship with the school flower? I heard that you both hit a home run. Yifan, surrounded by his classmates, had a black face with question marks. Home run? I didn't know about it, I'm still single. One sentence made people take a cold breath. Is it true? Yi go, in the face of Moo Flower Girl, you can still hold on. So Moo Flower Girl is unilaterally chasing after you and being your lapdog? Awesome. It's a rumor that you slept with Moo Flower Girl. You're still single, and there are so few girls in school, and you're still competing with us. Do you want us to live? You can have Mu Xianghua, just get off the market. At least you guys match. The other guys were afraid that the girls they liked would end up in Yifan's hands, and now they were begging Yifan to get off the market. Without Yifan off the market, their hopes of dating were slim. Yifan didn't expect the guy's reaction to be so exaggerated either. Hongi, who was standing nearby, felt bad when he saw everyone flattering Yifan. He didn't know what kind of luck Yifan had stepped in to be able to make the school beauty chase after him. He was seriously unbalanced and wished that the person everyone was flocking around was himself. Suddenly, Hongi's gaze saw the slender and beautiful figure walking in from outside. Her brown hair was hanging down her shoulders, and she was wearing a white dress. She had big breasts and a small face, and her temperament was superb. As she walked into the classroom with breakfast in her hands, she distracted the attention of the other boys from Yifan. Isn't that the school flower? Why is she in our class? The school flower is so cute, and that little skirt looks so good on her. Who is she looking for? Hongi bragged, showing off to the boys and saying, and guess what, it must be my girlfriend looking for me. The boys were a little envious of Hongi again. Without a school flower, having a girlfriend who is the school flower is also great. Not to mention that the school flower is a relatively famous talented girl in the school, and she plays the violin well. And now she's even bringing me breakfast. She's really the best girlfriend ever. Under everyone's envious gaze, Hongi walked up to the department flower. Shue, what are you doing here? You're here already, but you're also bringing me breakfast? I already had breakfast. He raised his voice so that everyone would turn to look. Hongi arrogantly reached out to take the breakfast, but the department flower quickly pulled her hand away. Who said it was for you? The department flower said unhappily. Hongi, who had been so pleased, was suddenly dumbfounded. If it wasn't for me, then who is it for? Of course it's for. Daffodil looked sweetly at Yifan, who was sitting not far away. She walked over in front of everyone's astonished gaze and handed Yifan the breakfast. Daffodil shyly said to Yifan, I queued up for a long time to buy you breakfast. I don't know what you like, so I bought some of everything. I hope you like it, Yifan. Yifan was very confused. What kind of confusing behavior is this? His charm is so great that he can still attract the flower of the department to change her love. Hongi's face turned black. Some boys were already chattering, what's going on? Isn't the flower of the department Hongi's girlfriend? Yeah, how did she change her heart and fall for Yifan? Isn't this putting Hongi in the position of a cuckold? After hearing this, the flower of the department hurriedly explained, what? When did I become Hongi's girlfriend? Someone else said, isn't that so? Just the other day, Hongi bragged to us that you had a secret crush on him for a long time and begged him to go out with you. Taihua glared at Hongi, who wanted to run away, in shame and anger, and angrily rebuked him, how can you make up such a lie? It was you who pursued me, and I rejected your advances, so how did it become that I had a secret crush on you and begged to go out with you? She was even afraid Yifan would misunderstand, so she excitedly declared, you have to believe me, I've never dated a boy before. Her little face turned red, I like only you. I've had a crush on you for a long time. The truth came to light. Everyone suddenly realized. It turned out that the flower had a crush on someone else, and Hongi had simply pretended to be interested when his advances were rejected. Everyone had fallen for his act. Chapter 20, Mu Xinxi is with you? Hongi, you're shameless, bragging about whatever. Class monitor, do you deserve the flower of the department? Don't you weigh your own conditions? The person she likes is Yifan, not you at all. How can you sully the reputation of a girl? We were all fooled by you, and we don't know how many lies there are in your mouth. Everyone is blaming Hongi. Hongi watched his goddess get angry with him and confess her love to Yifan. He was exhausted and completely heartbroken. He had liked the flower girl for so long, but she had never looked at him twice. It was Yifan again, really pushing it. Yifan felt a little better when he saw Hongi get slapped in the face. Hongi had been acting like a show-off, and he had finally been punished. He had mocked him last time, and now he was getting his comeuppance. Class monitor, aren't you going to explain? Yifan gave Hongi a sideways glance. Hongi was embarrassed. I just really like her, I've long since considered her my wife, isn't it just a matter of time before I win her over? He then anxiously turned to the school flower and said, Shue, just give me a chance. The school flower, however, said angrily, no way, have you given up? I won't be with you no matter who I'm with, I only have eyes for Yifan. She looked at Yifan, a little embarrassed. Will you be with me? I'll bring you breakfast every day, rain or shine. The crowd was completely sour. All the romantic encounters belonged to Yifan. The school flower was Yifan's lapdog, and even the flower girl was infatuated with him. Hongi couldn't believe it, and bit his back teeth. He had been courting the flower girl for so long, and he had given her whatever she wanted. But in the end, it was all for nothing. The other person had fallen for Yifan, which was like a pig rooting through cabbage. Sorry, I have no intention of getting into a relationship right now. Yifan rejected her outright. As a student, I just want to focus on my studies. The flower of the department let her eyelids fall down in disappointment. Hongi thought, this time the flower of the department will definitely give up. Shue, if he doesn't cherish you, someone else will. Hongi subconsciously moved forward to comfort the flower of the department. Who knew that Dai Flower pushed away Hongi, who had come close, and threw herself into Yifan's arms. She said bashfully, Yifan, you're so motivated, I like you even more. I can go to the library with you every day to read. Hongi? That's okay. No thanks. Yifan refused. Regardless, I'll still like you, and I'll wait for you to change your mind. After being rejected, Dai Flower ran out of the classroom, covering her face and sobbing. Yifan sighed. Hey, being too popular isn't good. He'd rejected another pretty girl. It was Hongi who was heartbroken. Licking the dog, licking until the end, he had nothing. The goddess was still head over heels for his rival. He glared at Yifan fiercely, you'll regret this. He would make Yifan pay for this humiliation, and for stealing his wife, he would settle the score with Yifan. Shue. Hongi shouted the goddess's name and chased after her. Yifan shrugged, fearless. Bring it on, he has a system, who is he afraid of? After a while, Xiaowu and the others came and were dumbfounded after learning about the farce that had just taken place. Clearly, he had the potential to be the Sea King, but he had to be a single dog. You're going to become the enemy of the whole school. Fortunately, I'm single, otherwise with you around, I wouldn't even have a girlfriend. Yi. Fan calmly replied, women can only affect the speed at which I draw my sword. If there is no woman in my heart, I can draw my sword naturally and skillfully. Page 1 of the sword manual, forget the person you love. Page 2 of the sword manual, swish your sword and cut the red dust. It's still better to be a single dog. School art studio. When Mu Xinxi appeared, many pairs of strange eyes locked on her. Seeing this, Mu Xinxi felt uncomfortable, and some people were whispering. Mu Xinxi was very puzzled. What's going on? As Mu Xinxi sat down next to her best friend Xiaoyu and prepared to paint, Xiaoyu came over and asked, were you at the grass of the finance department last night? How do you know? Mu Xinxi was a little surprised. Who leaked the news? Could it be Yifan who told everyone? Not only me, the whole school knows. Xiao Ye was very excited. Ah? Mu Xinxi was shocked. How could the whole school know? What on earth happened? Could it be that Yifan told everyone? Although she had never met Yifan, she had heard that he was very handsome. You can't trust handsome guys. If he is a Sea King, ruthless and merciless, it's over. If Mu Xinxi gets pregnant again, it will be even more disastrous. Chapter 21, Husband Protecting Crazy. What are you talking about? Mu Xinxi's face turned completely red. I'm your best friend, and even I'm on guard, how long are you going to keep it from me? The school's intranet is going crazy with the rumors. Xiaoyu immediately looked up the post on the intranet and showed it to Mu Xinxi. Mu Xinxi was furious when she saw it. How dare they say Yifan slept with her? She had most kissed Yifan. The most extreme thing she did was accidentally expose Yifan's naked body. Even then, Yifan was the one doing the evil thing, and she was just trying to stop him. Why are these internet users so boring, making up such a boring story? This is slander. Mu Xinxi's face turned completely red. So nothing like that happened? After hearing this, Xiaoyu let out a sigh of relief, but then she was puzzled. Are you Yifan's lapdog? Mu Xinxi. What is all this about? I heard that you even brought him milk tea to the playground, and broke into the men's dormitory to carry his suitcase for him, just to win a smile from Yifan. Mu Xinxi pinched her forehead lightly, It's a long story, anyway I'm not his lapdog. Mu Xinxi was in a difficult situation. She couldn't tell Xiaoyu that she had inexplicably exchanged body sensations with Yifan. Even if she did, Xiaoye would never believe her. She would probably get into trouble for it, and it would be bad if she was sent to some laboratory to be studied. That's good. Xiaoye muttered, and in my eyes, there is no man who is worthy of you. I heard that Yifan is only good-looking, with no other merits. His grades are a mess, he came in at the bottom of the class, and so many girls have confessed to him and he still doesn't have a girlfriend. Maybe he's gay. However, Mu Xinxi immediately refuted him, so what if his grades are a bit bad? He can definitely improve them. Just because he doesn't have a girlfriend doesn't mean he's gay. And you're still single, so are you gay too? Xiaoyu. And you're not a dog licker. I have to ask the administrator to delete the post quickly. Mu Xinxi looked at the message and said angrily. Just one night, and so many people started spreading rumors. This was the first time this had happened to her, and she was being accused of sleeping with someone. Oh, this is so humiliating. How can she ever get married now? Wait, Yifan posted something. While Mu Xinxi was seething, Xiaoyu looked at her phone. Mu Xinxi glanced at it and was shocked. Yifan had indeed posted to clarify that he had never slept with Mu Xinxi and that they were innocent of any relationship. There were countless replies to his post, and it was even pinned by the administrator. Xiaoyu had a change of heart. If it were one of those smelly guys, he would be happy to let these rumors continue to fester. After all, you are so outstanding, and this incident is something you can brag about for a long time. He even clarified it right away, so he still has some conscience. These words completely spoke to Mu Xinxi's heart. She didn't expect Yifan to speak up for her either. Scrolling down to the bottom of the replies again, there were some keyboard warriors maliciously attacking Yifan and saying that he was a soft-bred man. This is really too much. Yifan doesn't eat soft rice. He doesn't even eat his rice, so why is he meddling in other people's business? Mu Xinxi's anger was even greater than before. She immediately registered a new ID to defend Yifan. Mu Xinxi quickly called the school administrator. In addition to asking the administrator to delete the rumors, she also revealed the IDs of the black users who had insulted Yifan. Block these ID users permanently and disable their accounts. Oh, no, better yet, just delete their accounts. Xiaoyu, who was listening nearby, was completely dumbfounded. Just because keyboard warriors were insulting Yifan, did Mu Xinxi have to mobilize such a large force? She had promised to praise the dog, not to kick it. Naturally, the administrator dutifully obeyed Mu Xinxi's orders. Yes, no problem at all. Mu Xinxi is the daughter of the Mu family, and the Mu family has invested in Huaqing University. Her father is one of the shareholders, and the Mu family has invested in and sponsored a lot of things at the university. If you offend Mu Xinxi, the university won't be able to get as many benefits in the future. Only a fool would neglect Mu Xinxi. Mu Xinxi was very satisfied when she heard the administrator's words. The administrator was indeed very efficient. In less than 5 minutes, all the posts about Mu Xinxi were cleared. In particular, all the posts that smeared Mu Xinxi were forcibly deleted. As long as words related to Mu Xinxi were sent, they would be deleted by the forum. Not only that, but the bad news about Yifan also disappeared. Anyone who had ever opposed Yifan would be banned and blacklisted. As a result, Yifan and Mu Xinxi became the unspeakable topic on campus. Netizens who discovered the plot were even more excited. This is definitely a husband-protecting fanatic. Look, Mu Xinxi's influence is overwhelming. Anyone who insults Yifan will be blocked, blacklisted, and logged out. Mu Xinxi really loves Yifan. Yifan has literally saved the galaxy. This has made even more people envy Yifan. How can you let Mu Xinxi, who is so outstanding, silently contribute behind the scenes? At the moment, Mu Xinxi is very satisfied with the result. Any dirt on Yifan has disappeared. However, instead of satisfaction, there was also a feeling of heat. It was so hot. Mu Xinxi's face turned red with heat, and she immediately wiped away the sweat and even tugged at the collar of her shirt. Is it hot? Isn't the air conditioner on? It's on quite low. Xiaoyu was very puzzled. The temperature in the studio was very low, and some of the girls were shivering with cold and had started putting on their jackets. Even Xiaoyu felt that the air conditioner was low and felt cold, and she huddled her shoulders. Really? Mu Xinxi was taken aback. If that was the case, then there must be a problem with Yifan. As Mu Xinxi had guessed, Yifan was indeed facing a difficult problem. In the afternoon, when it was time for his professional class, he went to the B-level classroom. However, the air conditioning was not on. What's more, the temperature in the afternoon was very hot, already over 30 degrees. Not to mention that there were a bunch of people crammed into one classroom for class, with no air circulation, making it even more stuffy and uncomfortable. Xiaowu was already fanning himself with his book. He was sweating from the heat, and his nose was dripping with sweat. He said, "It's so hot in here. When are they going to fix the air conditioning in the classroom? It's getting hotter and hotter, how can we stand it? Yes, it's September, but I didn't know that the autumn heat wave was so unbearable. We've been complaining about the broken air conditioning for so long, but the school just won't deal with it. They're so stingy." Xiaohu took a sip of lemonade. The cold feeling slightly relieved the heat, but his sweat still kept coming. Other students followed suit and complained, "How can we concentrate on class? It feels like we're in a sauna. Other classrooms have air conditioning, but we've been transferred to this old, dilapidated classroom without air conditioning." Complaints filled the classroom. Even if they opened the windows to get some air, a hot wind from outside made them quickly pull their faces back in. No, it was really unbearable. However, while everyone was complaining, Xiaowu noticed that Yifan was very calm. Yifan was unflappable, as if he couldn't feel the heat at all, and was quite comfortable. Chapter 22, a free luxury apartment and a limited edition black card. Aren't you hot? Xiaowu was shocked. Fat Tiger was also surprised. Yifan, are you confused by heat stroke? Yifan really wasn't hot, after all, his body temperature had been exchanged. Now he could only feel the coolness of the air conditioning and taste the refreshingness of the soda. It was really cool and his heart soared. Anyway, he could enjoy all the benefits of MUXANCI. Yifan is afraid that his roommates will suspect that he is faking being hot, so he complains, "Has anyone come to fix the air conditioning yet?" Seeing everyone else around him sweating, he feels bad for MUXANCI and feels a little guilty. Yifan immediately unbuttons his shirt, and if it weren't for the risk of being considered indecent in the classroom, he would take off his shirt completely. To make MUXANCI feel better, Yifan drinks some cold soda and fans himself with his books. MUXANCI should feel a little cooler. But the most important thing is when the air conditioning will be fixed. I don't know. Seeing Yifan so hot, Xiaowu stopped worrying about him suffering heat stroke and hallucinating, and started complaining. No one has come to fix it, just because they think we students are easy to bully. Who's right? It's so hot, how are we going to get through this? Lega complained that there was no way to take the class, it smelled of sweat and stank, and it was more comfortable standing in the corridor than here. While the roommates were complaining. Ding dong. Yifan's phone came with a reminder. He picked up the phone and saw that it was actually a WeChat message from Mushinsi. Mushinsi, what's going on? It's so hot. What's going on? Yifan's mind immediately conjured up Mushinsi's beautiful face sweating from the heat. It seemed that the current heat was all Mushinsi bearing for him, which made him feel heartbroken. Yifan honestly told her about the broken air conditioner. Mushinsi replied, "Okay, I understand." Within a few minutes, suddenly two workers walked into the classroom with toolboxes. "Hello, we are here to repair the air conditioner as instructed by Miss Mushinsi." Yifan was taken aback. He had not expected Mushinsi to be so prompt. "She is really quite good, but I am sometimes quite useless." After the words were spoken, they shocked all the students. They had complained many times, but no one had come to repair the air conditioner. Now that Mushinsi casually mentioned it, the school allowed them to come and repair the air conditioner? Needless to say, the biggest reason for Mushinsi to let someone repair the air conditioner is Yifan. The school flower is pursuing Yifan. The system is online. Congratulations, host. Mushinsi has been detected to find someone to repair the air conditioner for you, and you will be rewarded with 500 points. Yifan was particularly satisfied when the points were credited. Yifan immediately started the lottery. Ding, congratulations, host, you have won the Yen Family Garden Villa. Ding, congratulations, host, you have won an unlimited black card. Yifan was ecstatic. Yen Family Garden could be considered the most expensive and prime residential area in the city. The minimum price for a villa here starts at 80 million yuan. He himself had no property under his name. Originally, Yifan had planned to save money to buy a house, but now that he had won a villa, what was the point of buying a house? Many people work all their lives and still can't afford such a villa, and now he just happened to own such a great villa. It was so cool. As for the unlimited black card, Yifan had heard some bloggers introduce it. It is a symbol of status and an absolutely good thing. Not all rich people can get it approved by the bank, and there are no more than 50 people in the country who have a black card. As a result, now I actually have a black card, and it's unlimited. It has simply fulfilled Yifan's wish. The procedural documents for Yin Family Garden have been successfully processed, and they have been placed in your bag together with the black card. The host can check and receive them. Yifan immediately took out his backpack. When he took it out, he saw that there were indeed property ownership certificates and property documents. It was written on them that it was Villa 215 in Yin Family Garden. The owner was Yifan's name. Ha ha. He has finally become a homeowner. Then he looked at the black card again. See, the design of this card is noble and top-notch. It suits his temperament so well. While Yifan was happy, the workers also repaired the air conditioner, and the classroom once again regained its former coolness. Because of the air conditioning, the originally stuffy environment suddenly became pleasantly cool. Many people were immersed in the comfort and could enjoy the air conditioning comfortably. Everyone immediately looked at Yifan with adoring eyes. Brother Yi, you are practically a god in my heart. You are our savior. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't know how long we would have to be in the furnace. The school flower has done this much for you, and I, as a classmate, am moved. You really won't accept the school flower? The school flower is also too devoted to you. Even Xiao Wu and the other roommates in the animal room were even more excited to thank Yifan. Big brother, I'm on my knees to you. Yi, thank you for saving my life. It's still better to use your name. I can't repay you. I'll treat you to whatever you want to eat later. Yifan was also very surprised. He had never expected that Mu Xinxi would be able to use her connections for his benefit just because he had casually mentioned it. Although it was only because of the body temperature exchange, she did it just to make herself more comfortable. But no one else knows. Everyone agrees that Mu Xinxi is Yifan's lapdog. She loves Yifan so much. Yifan saved the galaxy, and has such a beautiful girl giving her deep affection. Yifan also sent a text message to Mu Xinxi, fixed, thanks, are you feeling better? Mu Xinxi, phew, that's good, I can already feel the coolness. Yifan looked at the text message and could picture the scene. His eyes were full of affection for Mu Xinxi. Meanwhile, Mu Xinxi received a message from Yifan. She felt much better overall and was not as sweaty as she had been. But after reading Yifan's message, Mu Xinxi couldn't help but smile. Xiaoyu, who was drawing nearby, trembled when she heard the laughter. Did she hear it right? It sounded like Mu Xinxi was laughing. Upon looking, she noticed a pleasant smile on Mu Xinxi's face. Mu Xinxi's smile was really pretty, with her eyes curved and the corners of her lips slightly raised, making her look even more gentle and sweet. What could be so happy? You have to know that as her best friend, Xiaoya had rarely seen Mu Xinxi so happy. After all, Mu Xinxi had always been the iceberg beauty of the school, and Xiaoya was also Mu Xinxi's classmate, plus her lively personality, that opened Mu Xinxi's heart. Only then did she realize that Mu Xinchen had encountered some bad things before, which caused Mu Xinchen to close her heart and be less willing to smile. As Mu Xinchen's best friend, she had only seen Mu Xinchen's fake smile when she met her. Xiaoyu wanted to lean over to look at the phone, which made Mu Xinchen's face instantly blush. Mu Xinxi put the phone in her pocket a little embarrassed, not letting Xiaoya see it. It's nothing, I just saw a funny clip. Okay, continue drawing. She couldn't let Xiaoya find out that she had laughed at Yifan's message, not knowing how to tease herself. But why did she inexplicably giggle? Just for Yifan's thanks. It's ridiculous. After finishing the school's course, Xiaowu stretched and stood up from his seat. Finally liberated. Yifan, let's go to the internet cafe to play games. You were so awesome playing games yesterday. Fat Tiger was very excited. Yes, I recorded it and posted it on Bilibili, and the number of views reached tens of thousands. It's a pity that you don't have the level to be a professional anchor. No, I still have something to do. Yifan refused, saying that he would play games with you guys next time. Yifan remembered the appointment he had made with the president of Jiayue Media. He couldn't miss this opportunity to get rich. Chapter 23, The Female CEO Who Slaps People in the Face. A high-end coffee shop. A woman with snow-white skin was sipping coffee. She looked like a fairy, with translucent skin and an exquisite beauty. Her black hair was tied back with a rhinestone clip, accentuating her white swan neck and delicate collarbone. She wore a long black dress with a halter neck, making her look elegant and noble. Her hands were crossed, giving off an imposing air. The men in the cafe looked at her with admiration, but she didn't seem to be interested at all. Instead, she stared out of the window, as if she was looking for someone. "You must be President Shui." Shui Kaiwan heard a deep voice, and immediately lifted her eyes to see the handsome boy in front of her. His lips were slightly raised, creating a pleasing curve, the look that young girls liked most at the moment. Fair and clean-cut, handsome features, a tall frame, and a strong physique. Although he was only wearing a black t-shirt, he exuded a youthful aura of hormones. Shui Kaiwan was stunned for a few seconds. Then she felt it was too abrupt, and she immediately got up. "Yes, I am." "So your father hasn't arrived yet?" The other person looked like a student, so how could he invest in her company? "He must be here with his father." "No, it's me personally who wants to invest." Yi Fan shook his head and said solemnly. Shui Kaiwan was shocked. She looked at Yi Fan up and down. He was very young and handsome. He looked like a pop idol. So he said he wanted to invest in her company and be a shareholder? Is that even possible? Shui Kaiwan had imagined what an investor would look like. He wasn't some old man, but someone in his mid-30s. Definitely not a young guy like this. And on second thought, it didn't seem like he had much money either. Shui Kaiwan was a little upset. "If you think it's funny to play with me, then I'm sorry, I'm not interested. Right now, the company is in financial trouble, and it's a matter of life and death." In the past, Shui Kaiwan might have considered supporting a younger guy, but now she wasn't interested at all, and she just found this kind of behavior really boring. As Shui Kaiwan was about to leave, a dark figure blocked her path. It was Yi Fan. Yi Fan's deep, dark eyes looked at Shui Kaiwan with certainty. "Who says I'm joking? I really want to cooperate with you." With a bang, a black card and car keys were placed on the table. Shui Kaiwan trembled. A black card is a major symbol of the identity of the world's top wealthy. It is said to be omnipotent, has a very high threshold, and is not issued at random. Banks can only issue black cards after very harsh reviews. Shui Kaiwan has applied several times before, but the results were all rejected by the bank. The fact that the boy in front of her was able to apply for a black card proves that he is either rich or noble. And look at the set of car keys again, but it's a limited edition Koenigsegg. There are only a few in the world, and the fact that Yi Fan was able to get them proves that Yi Fan's strength should not be underestimated. Yi Fan could clearly see the shocked expression on Shui Kaiwan's face. With determination and confidence, he crossed his arms and looked down on Shui Kaiwan, saying, "Now you can see my sincerity, right?" Shui Kaiwan, who had just now looked displeased, quickly became agitated. She humbly begged, "I'm sorry, I apologize for my rashness. Please help me tide over this difficult time. The company really needs your help now. Here is the company introduction, and here are the contract documents. You can refer to them again, or just let me know if you have any requests." Shui Kaiwan placed a series of documents in Yi Fan's face. She had never imagined that this young and good-looking man was actually a wealthy man with a hidden agenda. She had really poor judgment, and she had underestimated the other party. Now she didn't have much confidence, and she was afraid that the other party would be angry and lose interest in cooperating with her. "No need, just sign the contract." Yi Fan's decisive tone made Shui Kaiwan flinch. She had never expected Yi Fan to agree to invest without looking at anything. Is this what it means to be rich and have a big head? It is also true that for this top-level tycoon, investing in a company may be as cheap as casually spending $1. Shui Kaiwan was overjoyed. "Good, after you sign, you will be the first shareholder of our Jiayue Media, and the company will set up an office specifically for you." Okay. Yi Fan had an information card, and knew that this company was a sure profit. What was there for him to hesitate about? As long as he bought shares, he could just lie back and make money afterwards. When the contract was handed over, Yi Fan made sure there were no problems and signed it directly. Shui Kaiwan looked at the two characters at the bottom of the contract document, written in a cursive style, Yi Fan. She secretly admired him, and was also very grateful for Yi Fan's generosity. Not many people can provide timely help in a crisis, and even fewer can recognize talent. "Yes, Mr. Yi, you won't be disappointed with your decision." Shui Kaiwan was very moved. Yi Fan invested 16 million in one go, becoming the largest shareholder of Jiayue Media. He only had a few $100,000 left in his account. But Yi Fan was not at all worried. With the system in place, he was not worried about running out of money. After dining with Shui Kaiwan, Yifan drove off in his luxury car. Shui Kaiwan hurried back to the company and called a meeting. "I'm announcing that we have a new shareholder to help us tide over the difficulties." Shui Kaiwan announced the good news gleefully. "He owns 25% of our company." One of the male shareholders asked excitedly after hearing this, "Which company's president is funding this?" Shui Kaiwan shook his head, "Not the president." "A corporate executive?" "Not a corporate executive either." Shui Kaiwan continued shaking his head. "An overseas investor?" "No." Shui Kaiwan denied. The crowd was puzzled. "Then who is it?" "I'm not sure who the person is. He seems to be just a student, a sophomore at Huaqing University." Shui Kaiwan's answer took everyone by surprise. "President Shui, you're not joking with us, are you?" The male shareholder snorted. "A student came and proposed to become a shareholder, and you believe him? He said he wants to buy the company, so are you going to sell it to him right now?" The other shareholders also became worried. Yes, nowadays students have difficulty finding employment, so how could they come invest in a company? Yes, even if this student is a second-generation rich kid, his interests are probably just chasing girls and clubbing, and he will inherit the family business in the future, so there is no way he would invest in our project. "President Shui, have you downloaded the anti-fraud app?" "President, do you think this young man is trying to get rich by marrying a rich woman, and is deliberately using this as an excuse to get close to you?" Everyone felt that this hypothesis was very likely. After all, Shui Kaiwan is very beautiful and has a hot body. She has countless suitors, but none of them have caught her eye, which is why she remains single. However, many male executives and employees of the company have a crush on her. It is also very possible that a college student has a crush on Shui Kaiwan and used this method to hook up with her. P.S. I beg you all to hurry up and send some gifts, so that I can post more. It's not easy to type, so cherish it. Chapter 24, Who is bothering the beautiful CEO? "No, I already signed the documents." Shui Kaiwan waved the documents in her hand and said confidently that he would not lie. However, the male shareholder, who had a little interest in Shui Kaiwan, thought disdainfully in his heart, "What if he used a fake name to fool you? The documents will not take effect at all, which is equivalent to fooling you. Kaiwan, you are just too simple." Everyone else also felt that there was something fishy about it. In the end, Shui Kaiwan said unhappily to the male shareholder, "Although he is a student, he can drive a Koenigsegg sports car at a young age, and he also has a black card, and he directly transferred 16 million yuan to my account in one go." These words shocked everyone. The male shareholder, who had just been dissatisfied, was so shocked that his jaw dropped. He was in his 30s and could barely drive a Mercedes-Benz. It's not that he doesn't want to drive a Koenigsegg sports car, but Koenigsegg sports cars are really too expensive and completely out of his price range. Not to mention black cards, which he doesn't even have. It's not that he doesn't want to apply for one, it's just that he's not eligible. The others were discussing it, expressing their surprise. A student can have a black card? It can't be a fake. Didn't you hear that President Shui said that he also drives a Koenigsegg and invested 16 million in one go? Black cards can be faked, but can money be faked? This student is really something. I guess he just casually invested in our company with his pocket money. Everyone drew a breath when she said that. They were especially envious of this so-called new shareholder. They might have worked hard for decades, but they still might not be able to earn even a fraction of the pocket money that he had. Shui Kaiwan said after seeing the change in attitude of everyone, "Although he is a student, he has an extraordinary vision and appreciates our company. I don't want to hear anyone say anything bad about him in the company, or I'll hold them responsible." After the boss said that, who would dare to say anything bad about the new shareholder? Especially since the new shareholder has the ability to make money, he is a valuable person for the company. Now the company is in a dire situation, on the verge of bankruptcy. With this 10 million yuan, it can definitely tide over the difficulties. Therefore, everyone is especially grateful for the new shareholders joining. New shareholder YYDS. When can we meet the shareholder? Yes, I really want to know what he looks like. We have to welcome the new shareholder properly. After all, he has done us such a big favor. Shui Kaiwan nodded as she looked at everyone's excited faces. Yes, we should throw a welcome party to welcome him. I'll ask him when he has time and arrange for him to visit the company. Great. Everyone was in high spirits and was looking forward to meeting the new shareholder and seeing his face. However, the male shareholder was in a bad mood. Is he just a rich second generation? He just got lucky with his birth and has a wealthy father. Otherwise, where would he get the money to invest in their company? If he could get lucky with his birth, he could invest in any company he wanted. As for praising this young guy to the skies, especially since he has always admired Shwe Kaiwan, and she quite appreciates this guy, it makes the male shareholder even less willing to see him. When the guy shows up, he must give the other guy a hard time. Let the other guy know that there is an order of seniority, and that he is still the most respected veteran of the company. Shwe Kaiwan put down her work and started to open WeChat. She quickly found Yifan's WeChat ID and sent a message, "President Yi, our company is holding a welcome party for you this week. Do you have time?" It was the first time she had waited for a boy to reply. She waited for more than 10 minutes. Finally, there was a reply. "Just took a shower. No thanks, I have an exam." Cold and aloof words. Unlike other boys, who were attentive and positive towards her, Shwe Kaiwan's mind immediately conjured up the image of the boy's carefree and uninhibited appearance. It was obvious that Yifan was not interested in her. That was why those subordinates joked that Yifan's throwing away money with a smile in order to woo her simply did not exist. This also made Shwe Kaiwan admire him even more. He was not wooing her, but was optimistic about the company's development potential. His intentions were pure, and he also affirmed the company's capabilities. This made Shwe Kaiwan unable to help but laugh out loud, and she admired Yifan even more. As a student, being able to invest in an unknown small company, even if he is a rich second generation, shows that he has exceptional abilities. She has met those rich second generation, and some of them are particularly stingy. Some are generous with their spending, but they won't invest a penny more in risky projects. Yifan's investment must have been well thought out, not a reckless investment. Shwe Kaiwan then actively invited him, "You are our company's first shareholder, do you still want to go through the formalities? Can you pick a time that is convenient for you? We can cooperate." At this moment, Yifan did not expect Shwe Kaiwan to be so persistent. He himself was afraid of trouble and did not pay much attention to formality. But Shwe Kaiwan was full of sincerity, so Yifan did not hesitate. Then next Friday morning, "I don't have class that day," Yifan replied to Shwe Kaiwan. Shwe Kaiwan immediately replied, "Okay." The secretary, who had been observing the situation, looked at Shwe Kaiwan with a completely shocked expression. How could General Shwe be reading messages on her phone and smiling? As a strong woman, she rarely plays with her phone in order to improve her work efficiency. And she definitely wouldn't hold her phone the whole time waiting for someone to message her, as she had just done. She would only take the time to check her messages in between work, and she definitely wouldn't smile happily when reading the messages. So who had got General Shwe so worked up? In the evening, Yifan leaned against the bed and watched the projection. It was simply beautiful. You have to understand that the dormitory is cramped and narrow, so there is nowhere to install a projector. The Mushin porcelain room is large and spacious, and the bed is comfortable. There is already a projector, a famous foreign brand. You can watch any movie you want, and you don't need a membership. Yifan doesn't have to spend money on a membership either, the library has every movie imaginable. There is also high-end audio equipment in the room, and the sound quality is exactly the same as watching a movie in a movie theater. Yifan was happily watching a movie when suddenly there was a knock on the door. Knock, knock, knock. "Come in." Yifan answered. It was late at night, who would be looking for him? A graceful figure walked in. She shouted angrily at Yifan, "Yifan, don't you blow your hair after washing it?" "Ha?" Yifan hadn't noticed that his hair was still damp. He really didn't have the habit of blow-drying his hair right after a shower. It was summer, and his hair was short, so it would dry quickly. There's no need to blow-dry it. You're going to give me a headache like this. What if you catch a cold, and I'm the one who suffers? Now it's uncomfortable to sleep with wet hair lying down too. Mu Xinxi muttered, and she walked up to Yifan, took his hand and dragged him up. "Okay, let's blow-dry your hair." Yifan looked at Mu Xinxi's persistent expression, and he also followed her advice and blow-dried his hair. Mu Xinxi immediately brought a towel and a hairdryer. The next second, she pressed Yifan against the bed. Chapter 25, The Exclusive Treatment the School Beauty Gave Me. She then sat on the bed with her legs bent and used a towel to wipe Yifan's hair first. Yifan could still vaguely feel the smoothness of her fingers as they rubbed his hair. Especially when they came into contact with his hair, Yifan closed his eyes with some contentment. This was the first time he had enjoyed the services of the school beauty. It was quite gentle. It feels so good, Yifan said with pleasure. Then Yifan felt a hot wind. Ding, 300 points awarded for Mushinsi blowing the hair of the host. Mushinsi turned on the hairdryer, and she said with some resentment, "You're comfortable, but I'm suffering. Now we've switched bodies, you have to be two people alone." She said seriously, "You must take care of your body, otherwise if something happens to you, what will I do?" Hearing her melodious voice, Yifan's breathing quickened. Although he knew she didn't mean it that way, he couldn't help but fantasize. Hey, it's a little sweet to have a little heart. Well, I'm pretty careless and don't care about small details. Yifan deliberately contradicted Mushinsi, saying, "What's the point of blow-drying your hair and then drying it? I'm not used to that, and I like staying up late quite a bit." Mushinsi's red lips pouted, "You. Can't you be more careful? Your health is the foundation of a revolution. Can't you just take care of your body?" "My body is fine, it's resilient." Yifan puffed up. "You." Mushinsi was about to be made to cry by Yifan. "Anyway, you're the one who's in charge of me, you blow dry my hair, you tell me to go to bed early." Yifan's lips curled involuntarily. "That's too much trouble." Mushinsi bit her lower lip, obviously struggling. She has always been taken care of by servants, when has she taken care of others? "Oh, no, then I'll just have to find a girlfriend to manage it. By then I'll be driving, and you won't be able to manage it anymore," Yifan teased. In less than a few seconds, Mushinsi became anxious. No way. If Yifan really gets a girlfriend, what kind of shameless things will he do? She's the one feeling it. Yifan kissed the girl's lips, and it was she who was feeling it. Yifan touched the girl, and it was she who was feeling it. If Yifan and the girl are in close contact with their skin, it is also she who is feeling it. No, just thinking about it makes me feel sick. Mushinsi immediately shook her head like a rattle, rejecting it very much. Yifan narrowed his eyes and watched Mushinsi's face turn red, and he was in a very happy mood. She is so cute. Now she looks as stupid and cute as a kitten. Then you have to be good and listen to me. Yifan hummed, "Take good care of me." Mushinsi grit her back teeth. I'll put up with you. Anyway, once we swap back, we'll be able to live a normal life." She rubbed Yifan's hair a little, and once it was dry, she urged, "You hurry up and go to bed. Then someone needs to tuck me in." Yifan raised an eyebrow. Mushinsi, who was about to leave, was called back, and even though she was reluctant, she tucked Yifan in. "Hey, my hands are a little sore, massage them for me." Yifan smiled at Mushinsi. "You. Okay, I get it, I'll go find my girlfriend now." Yifan giggled. "I'll massage your hands for you." Mushinsi sat down by the bed and began to massage Yifan's hands. If it were normal, she would have punched him. But now she was exchanging body sensations with Yifan, and besides, if Yifan was in pain, she would feel it herself. So Mushinsi very carefully gave him a massage on the arm. Yifan closed his eyes and enjoyed Mushinsi's exclusive service. Her little hand was very soft and the massage was quite forceful. Her nose was upturned and her face was pink. Feeling a little indignant, he grunted in his mouth. He pretended to be unhappy and grunted, "Don't you want to?" "Yes, yes." She then completely turned into a little lamb, very obedient. Ha. So obedient and cute, she's perfect for marriage. Although they'll be exchanging back in 2 months. But Yifan is confident that he'll be able to be with Mushinsi within 2 months. If they're not together, he'll marry the author. Can you sleep now? Although Mushinsi's hands aren't tired at all, she's ashamed and wants to run when she looks at Yifan's teasing gaze. "I'm not sleepy. I'll be too bored on my own," Yifan said with a cynical smile. "You can keep me company until the movie is over." "You?" She glared at him. "What's wrong with that? Then I'm not sure what time I'll go to sleep." Yifan gave a small smile. Mushinsi immediately shouted, "No way." After weighing her options, she said with a bitter smile, "I'll keep you company." If Yifan stayed up late, she wouldn't be able to sleep. If she doesn't sleep well, she won't have any energy tomorrow. Crack. Yifan patted the bed next to him. Mushinsi hesitated for a moment, then leaned over and lay down next to Yifan. After she felt the hormonal scent of Yifan, she suddenly felt nervous and her body tightened. Not to mention being in the same room with a guy late at night, she had never even been to the movies with a guy. Yifan glanced at the delicate and charming Mushinsi next to him. She was wearing a nightgown, her long hair falling over her shoulders, her small face drooping with a flush of red. She was charming and enchanting, with the outline of her body outlined by the projected light. Inside the room, her lips were soft and full. Yifan's breath was also hot to see. Aren't you watching a movie? Mushinsi sensed Yifan's scorching gaze and subconsciously gently turned Yifan's face away with her palm. Yifan secretly curled his lips and smiled. You are better looking than in the movie, of course I'm looking at you. Boom. Yifan's low, magnetic voice completely stirred Mushinsi's heart. Mushinsi's heart was pounding non-stop. She had no idea what the movie was playing. She could only feel how hot her face was and her body was straightening up. Yifan could feel Mushinsi biting her lower lip in restraint. Her pretty face was as red as a peach, with an alluring blush. I was just teasing you. You can't be serious, can you? Yifan teased, deliberately provoking her. As a result, she instantly exploded, like a shrimp that had jumped ashore, excited and agitated. I never took you seriously. She was so agitated that she kicked Yifan with her foot. Yifan was already by the bed, teasing Mushinsi and watching the fun from afar. As a result, the fire spread. After feeling the tender white foot of Mushinsi kick him, Yifan fell to the ground without realizing it. Of course, it didn't hurt at all. Because Mushinsi was the one suffering the pain. Oh, it hurts. Mushinsi didn't expect Yifan to fall, and she didn't expect her but to hurt so much. Yifan, however, was lying on the floor, laughing hysterically. You reap what you sow. You're so straight. Mushinsi sat on the bed and accused Yifan. Yifan leaned over the edge of the bed, his handsome face deliberately close to Mushinsi's, and teased, I'm a straight guy who likes girls. Don't you know that best? Chapter 26, What Can I Know? What, how can I know? Mushinsi looked at the extraordinarily handsome little face in front of her, her skin burning hot. In the morning. Yifan prompted Mushinsi. Mushinsi's eyelashes blinked rapidly, which made her face burn even more intensely. You, behave yourself. Yifan smiled indolently. How come I feel like the one who isn't behaving himself is you? I never thought you were such a school beauty. Muzinko was embarrassed by Yifan's teasing. She covered her face, shook her head, and glared at Yifan. I didn't think anything. I'm going to sleep, you hurry up and sleep. I'm not going to sleep, so what are you going to do? Yifan was the only one in the world, with a meaningful smile, watching Muzinko hate him and grit her teeth, but unable to get rid of him. She had to admit that her skin was white and tender, and when it turned red, it was really beautiful. Mushinsi's cheeks were puffed up. Can't you sleep? Staying up late is bad for your health. I'm in great health. I'll give you 50,000, so you go to sleep right now. I don't lack money. Yifan has a system, and there's as much money as you want. You. Mushinsi was about to cry from anger. Before she knew what to do with him, Yifan patted the bed next to him and said with a smile, You'll coax me to sleep. Don't go too far. Mushinsi muttered, subconsciously shaking her little hands and trying to walk out. Yifan sighed, If that's not possible, then I'll stay up all night. Mushinsi stopped in her tracks. Stay up all night? Then how could she have energy during the day? She would feel uncomfortable if she didn't sleep for a whole night. Yifan saw Mushinsi coming over, and laughed, Didn't you want to leave? I changed my mind, can't I? Mushinsi is still very arrogant, and asks, How to coax? Yifan's eyes narrowed slightly, his eyebrows spread, and he said happily, Are you asking about the paid version or the free one? Mushinsi's ears instantly turned red, pervert. Yifan, however, grunted, I didn't do anything, and you're calling me a pervert. If I did something, what would you call me? Yifan leaned over and rubbed Mushinsi's tiny waist, teasing, Call me husband? Congratulations, the host has unlocked the action of hugging the waist and gained 300 points. Yifan's lips curled up, and he lowered his head to take a deep breath in her shoulder pit. A nice body fragrance rippled across his nose, and in the palm of his hand was her soft, delicate waist. It was really thin and straight. Mushinsi's pretty face had turned red, especially when Yifan's unique scent filled the air, and there was an air of ambiguity in the air. Listening to his low and seductive voice, the tips of Mushinsi's ears completely turned red. Feeling the temperature of his fingers made Mushinsi tremble with nervousness. She quickly pushed Yifan away. Behave yourself. I'm already behaving myself, Just tell me if you're going to comfort me or not. If you're not, I'll go to the internet cafe and stay up all night. Yifan subconsciously wanted to get up. As a result, his arm was suddenly tightly encircled by the other person's lotus arm. Go back, come back. I didn't say no. No, I won't tease you. A shy voice sounded, and Yifan's heart completely went numb. He looked back and saw the young girl sitting on the bed with her legs apart. Her cheeks were flushed, her beautiful melon-shaped face was slightly lowered, and the tips of her black hair were slightly curled. He noticed her long eyelashes, which fluttered gently like butterfly wings, looking cute and sweet. Yifan's mouth curled up into a smile, and he followed the trend by lying down next to Mushinsi. He gave Mushinsi a small smile. Come on, if my husband can't say it, then just call me brother and go to sleep early? You. Mushinsi's ears burned when she heard the word brother. Not to mention that Yifan's eyes were smiling. Teasing as he said these words. Ichum, didn't you say you were going to coax me? Have you changed your mind? Yifan was about to straighten up when she was suddenly pushed over by Mushinsi. Her long hair poured down and rested on Yifan's cheek, tickling him a little. I haven't changed my mind. She breathed heavily. Her breath, full of fragrance, landed on Yifan's cheek. Yifan was very distracted. Brother. Her eyes were like a pool of clear water, and the shyness on her cheeks did not fade away for a long time. Just the word brother was already mesmerizing. The rising intonation of her voice was so beautiful to hear. Yifan's breathing became heavy, implying something meaningful. Then what? Go to bed early. Mushinsi yelled out in a voice that was difficult to say, and now it should be okay. Hey, it's missing. What's missing? Mushinsi didn't understand. Where's the kiss? Yifan pointed his finger at his lips, hinting at Mushinsi. Muzinko looked at Yifan's teasing and smug expression, and she blushed even more. Do you have to add it? Not coming? Yifan took advantage of the fact that he wanted to get up, and now Muzinko was anxious, so she directly and awkwardly gave a stupid sound. Yifan laughed. Looking at the blushing girl in front of him, he subconsciously scratched her nose and said dotingly, Forgive you, go. But Yifan's actions scared her. Her watery eyes blinked rapidly. She looked startled, like a pure young deer. With a blush, she fled. Hearing his laughter, she was embarrassed and ashamed. Why did she make a fool of herself in front of Yifan again? If only she hadn't exchanged numbers with Yifan, she wouldn't have been controlled by him. But the just-ended ambiguous scene flashed through her mind again, causing her skin to flush and heat up. Yifan entered the mall after Mushinsi left. Now he could enter the lottery 3 times with his points. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining a Silsby Supercar SSSE, which is parked in the garage of the Yin Family Garden Villa. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining high-level demolition rights, and the family will be demolished immediately. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining a free double-person global travel card, with free spending and premium exclusive services and VVVLP tour guide services. Yifan was a little excited. He was currently driving the Koenigsegg sports car lent to him by Muchen Porcelain, which did not really belong to him. But now the system had given him a Silverstone SSC. The Silverstone SSC was the fastest supercar in the world, faster than the Bugatti Veyron, and it cost at least 60 million. It could be said to be the local tyrant car among supercars. It's even faster than the Koenigsegg. That's going to be so cool. It just so happened that he had not yet seen the villa, so they went to see the car together. In addition to getting the car, he had unexpectedly become a demolition household. This was something Yifan had longed for in the past. Since elementary school, he had fantasized about his family being demolished and then becoming rich overnight. It never happened, but fortunately, the system had now fulfilled his wish. Chapter 27 Mom, our house is being demolished. Yifan was overjoyed at the thought of demolishing his old house in the countryside. He reckoned that his parents would be overjoyed too. Now that there was also a free global travel card, Yifan didn't even think twice about it. It was definitely for his parents. The world was so big, and they definitely had to go and see it. So Yifan immediately dialed his parents' phone number. I can't fly away from this world of flowers it turns out I'm a drunken butterfly. Followed by the abrupt end of a ringtone. The phone was answered. Hello, son, why are you calling me? What's wrong, did you run out of pocket money again? What entered Yifan's ears was the kind voice of his mother. Yifan couldn't help but laugh. Is that all he called for, just pocket money? Mom, you really underestimate me. Your son and I drive supercars and live in mansions. Yi Fan said with a laugh. You're so funny, son, haha. Mom, you don't believe me. If I could start a video call right now, I'd show you the huge mansion your son lives in. Okay, Mom, I have a free global travel card, with a tour guide and all expenses paid. You can bring Dad along, it's either your wedding anniversary or your anniversary in a couple of days. Yi Fan got to the point. Haha, you're so funny, son. Have you downloaded the anti-scam app? Loud laughter came from the other end of the line. Mom, I'm serious. I won the lottery through official channels. Yi Fan was at his wit's end. So you lost the truth or dare game? Yi Fan couldn't help laughing and crying at the same time. I'm sure it's true. And also, our family is going to be demolished, so you mustn't move your household registration. Son, are you talking nonsense in the middle of the night? Mom continued to laugh loudly. I'm wide awake. It's true. Our family lives in the countryside, so how can our house be demolished? Son, you'd better go to bed and wash up. Mom knows that you're worried about your family not being able to be relocated, but we have to be realistic. Mom said. It's not surprising that my mother would think this way. After all, the development of her village is not as good as that of the next village, and the next village has not been demolished, so it would indeed be outrageous to demolish their small village. But he has a system in place, so nothing outrageous will happen. Mom, whether it's true or not, you'll know in time. By the way, pack your bags, I'll let the tour guide contact you tomorrow, and you must go. Yi Fan hung up the phone after informing his mother. His mother, who had been hung up on, had a face full of black question marks. Dad, who happened to be returning from the shower, asked his wife, "What's wrong?" Who was on the phone? It was our son. He just told me 2 really funny jokes. Mom smiled at her husband. What? He said our remote village is going to be demolished. Not only that, he also said he won a free trip around the world. Isn't that funny? Dad shook his head when he heard his wife's words, worried. My son is daydreaming. Has he lost his mind? Has he been cheated? I don't know, I even let him download an anti-scam app, but he didn't listen. I think he probably lost at Truth or Dare. I'll ask him again tomorrow. Mom said to him. Dad lay down on the bed. He sighed, Hey, we've been married for so many years, I've been moving bricks on the construction site, and you've been working in the factory. We've both been too busy to travel, and we've never had the money or time to go on a trip. When I think about it, I really want to take you to Sanya for a vacation. But then his wife gave him a push. She started pouring cold water on the idea. What about your son? He's going to university, and we need money for that. Can't we save that money for his tuition fees, his bride price, and for him to marry off in the future? What's the point of going to Sanya when there's a big puddle right in front of our house? That's not the same thing. How is it not the same? You don't believe what my son says, do you? Hey, I also hope that our house will be demolished, but that's just wishful thinking. Nothing in the world is a free lunch. My mother sighed. Of course she wants to travel with her husband and see the world. But where would the money come from? Ever since she got married and had a son, she has been reluctant to eat or wear anything nice. She just wants to buy her son more delicious food and nicer clothes. She would love to go on a trip, but only if the family's financial situation allows it. Dad was also worried. He had worked all his life and had only saved a little money, so naturally he wanted the family to be able to move to a new home. But the chances of getting rich were slim, so it was better to be realistic and just pick up 100 yuan from the construction site and go to bed. At the moment, Yi Fan was sleeping soundly, compared to his parents, who were worried about the necessities of life. Mu Xinci felt that after Yi Fan next door fell asleep, he also fell asleep sweetly. It was light outside. Yi Fan's parents got up early. They both had to go to work to earn money to support their family. Yi Fan's mother made millet porridge and an omelette for breakfast and then sat down to eat with her husband. Just then, there was a sound of hurried footsteps outside. Then the village chief's cheerful voice resounded, Yi Fan's mother, it's great that you're both here. What's wrong, village chief? Yi Fan's parents looked at the village chief in puzzlement. The village chief announced excitedly, our Taohua village has been confirmed for demolition. Hurry up and go to the village branch to sign the papers. This sentence instantly took Yi Fan's parents by surprise. It was exactly the same as what Yi Fan had said. Yi Fan's father was so shocked that he lost his balance and fell to the ground. Demolition is a great thing. How many poor people have become rich and successful because of it? Husband, be careful. Yi Fan's mother immediately went to help her husband. Ye's father's breathing became rapid. I didn't think it was true. My son was right. Yes, I thought he was joking, but it's true. Ye's mother was beside herself with excitement. She had said yesterday that Yi Fan was daydreaming. I never thought that their village would really be demolished. The village chief looked at them not with joy, but with surprise and confusion. What's wrong? My son knew about this news a long time ago, but I thought he was joking. After all, our village is so poor and so remote, even if it is demolished, it won't be our village. Ye's mother told the village chief everything that happened last night. The village chief was stunned. Is your son a prophet? Or does he know some insider secrets? Ye's father and mother looked at each other, not knowing what was going on. At this time, a few men in suits walked in from outside the house. Hello, we are from Tengfei Travel Agency. Are you Ms. Yi Hai and Ms. Shin Mayerong? Yes, what is it? We are the gold medal tour guides from the travel agency. You have won the right to go on a global tour, and we will provide you with exclusive services throughout the entire trip. You will enjoy the VVVVLP benefits of staying in 5-star hotels, free food and accommodation, and reimbursement of expenses. This statement shocked the Yi family again. They didn't think that such a good deal would really fall on their heads. Chapter 28, Winning the VVIP Prize of a Global Trip. Yi Fan was still fast asleep when he received a phone call. He answered the phone with his hand on it, still a little dazed. Hello? Son. The excited shout stimulated Yi Fan's eardrums. Yi Fan woke up instantly, rubbing his ears. Mom, what is it? Speak a little softer. Ah, I can't believe you're not lying to us. You really won the VVVLP prize of a global trip. Yi Fan couldn't help laughing at his mother's excited words. Yes, now you believe it, right? It seems that yesterday he arranged for the gold medal tour guide to contact his parents. We're already on the plane to Sanya. It's first class. This is the first time I've flown first class. Mom said excitedly. Dad chimed in. It's great that the trip is free, and we get to have a big dinner, stay in a presidential suite, and go on a luxury cruise at night. Mom said with regret, unfortunately, there are only 2 spots, and you're not going. Yi Fan's eyes grew a little watery. His parents always think of him first when something good happens. I don't want to go on a trip. It's exhausting, and I still have to go to school. You two just go and have fun. Show me some pictures when you get back. Yi Fan grinned. Great, no problem. Mom said happily. There's another good thing to tell you, our house really is being demolished. You're amazing. How did you know our village was going to be demolished? Yi Fan didn't expect the demolition news to reach his parents so quickly. The system is really fast. I just have a friend who works in the demolition office, and he said that our village is going to develop vigorously, so I told you in advance, but I didn't expect you to disbelieve me, Mom. Yi Fan made up an excuse to get out of it. Mom felt a little embarrassed after hearing this. Son, I'm really sorry, I just thought you were joking at first. How could she not believe her son? My son is really awesome, so well informed, you knew before the village chief did. Dad praised Yi Fan. His mother nodded in agreement. Yes, it seems that you have made a lot of friends while studying at university, and you have really brought honor to our family. No, doesn't our family own 2 or 3 apartments and some fields? If we demolish them, it will be a lot of money. Yi Fan was happy when he thought about the benefits of the demolition. His mother was also very happy. Yes, I never thought that such a good thing would happen to us, we have really become landlords. Dad agreed. Your aunt's family originally looked down on the poor conditions in our village and moved to the next village, but since there is no hope of demolition in the next village, our village has prospered, and she was so sour when she heard the news. Not only that, she looked so miserable when she found out that your father and I would be able to travel the world. Mom added. Yi Fan felt very happy when he thought about his vain and snobbish aunt. I guess my aunt is now super regretting moving out of the household registration and not getting a share of the pie. Before, when his family was in trouble and he asked his aunt for a loan, she acted condescendingly and wouldn't give him a dime, and she even felt that his family was poor and wretched. The wheel of fortune turns, and this is what she deserves. But this is just the beginning, and there will be a steady stream of things in the future that will make my aunt jealous. Who made him have a god-level system? This is the most pleasant news he has heard today. After finishing his conversation with his parents, Yifan went to school. After class, Yifan went to the bathroom. On the way to the bathroom, a few big guys immediately blocked Yifan's way. Standing in the center was the school bully. He had a hideous scar on his face, was chewing gum, and looked at Yifan arrogantly. "You must be Yifan." This scene was seen by Hongi, who was following behind. Hongi was excited. From the looks of things, he was looking for trouble with Yifan. Those who got into trouble with the school bully were either beaten to a pulp or bullied into transferring schools. With a small body like Yifan's, if he fell into the hands of the school bully, he would probably be ruined. Yifan had previously stolen a lot of the limelight from Hongi. He had also stolen Hongi's favorite girl, and up to now, no matter how the girl tried to please him, he was sick of him. Seeing this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to make Yifan look ridiculous, how could Hongi let it go? So Hongi started taking out his phone and live streaming. He had quite a few followers, all students from Huaching University. He just wanted everyone to see how Yifan, who looked so glamorous in public, was beaten up and left crying in front of the school bully. We'll see how Yifan behaves then. Hongi hid in a corner and whispered, "My dear friends, click the red heart button, because there's going to be a great show in a minute." Yifan, who was liked by the school's most beautiful girl, is now in the hands of the school bully. Let's see how many punches he can take. The camera was pointed at Yifan. The comments on the screen immediately increased. Holy shit! The school bully is super fierce in fights. Last time I saw him beat someone up, he punched him and he vomited. Anchor, you go up there and help. Poor Yifan, he's going to be beaten into a meat pie. The school bully has gone too far. What's the problem with Yifan? Hongi had originally thought that everyone would jump on him, but to his surprise, the comments were all asking Hongi to help. Hongi was disdainful. "Forget it, at most I'll consider calling 120 for an ambulance for him, just because he's a classmate." At this moment, Yifan, looking at the rowdy thugs in front of him, frowned slightly. "I'm the one, what's the matter?" He usually doesn't have much contact with these people. But he had heard of their deeds before, running rampant on campus. A while ago, a student was beaten and had several ribs broken and a fracture, and was sent to the hospital. Fortunately, the bully's father had some connections and was able to suppress the matter, otherwise the bully would have been expelled from school long ago. This also encouraged the bully's arrogance. Yifan was not afraid of the bully at all. He had a system, not to mention his superb fighting ability, comparable to a boxing champion. A mere school bully dared to act like a king in front of him, and he would beat the other person up. "I heard that the school beauty is chasing you?" The bully stared at Yifan fiercely. If it were normal, Yifan would have rejected him outright. But now that he saw the school bully being so arrogant and domineering, Yifan directly admitted, "Yes, what?" Yifan was even more arrogant than the school bully, and he also had a bit of a swagger. Hongi snorted after reading it, stubborn to the end. Now the school bully has brought 4 little brothers with him, and in a group fight, Yifan is simply not their match. Getting beaten up is a minor matter, but if he gets disfigured, that would be bad. Hey, that's even better. That way, Yifan won't be able to seduce people with that face anymore. Yifan's dark eyes were deep and cold as he stared at the school bully. The school bully walked forward menacingly. Hongi was so excited that he kept saying, "It's about to start." Chapter 29, The School Bully Worships You? Who would have thought that in a moment the school bully bowed to Yifan, with a very humble attitude. "Can't you fall in love with Mushinsi? Please, don't let her chase you." Yifan. Hongi was stunned. "Big brother, shouldn't you beat Yifan up? Where's your fierce persona, how did it collapse?" Yifan didn't expect the school bully to react like this either, and he was completely at a loss. The school bully even shed tears in front of him. "I've liked her for exactly 1052 days. I've also been chasing after her for exactly 1052 days. I've never seen her so infatuated with any boy before. She's such a good person, so just accept her. I'll be satisfied just watching her be happy." The school bully hasn't been able to eat or sleep well lately. He heard that Mushinsi had chased after Yifan, and he felt so bad. A girl he has loved and cherished in the palm of his hand is now so humbly pursuing a boy. Why should Yifan repeatedly hurt his little princess? Watching the school bully beg piteously, Yifan felt a little sympathy. The domineering big brother, who has achieved so much, is still a dog who licks. "As long as you are with her, I will give you all the protection fees I collect in the future. Consider me your big brother." Let me know if there is anything. Seeing that the school bully had come this far, Yifan sighed, I'll try my best. It's not that he's reluctant, it's that the school flower is reluctant. The school flower is not his lapdog. If it weren't for the system messing with things and switching the two of their body senses, it's estimated that the school flower would never have crossed paths with him at all. Seeing Yifan nod, the school bully was moved to tears. The netizens who had just entered the Hongyi live broadcast room were even more shocked. My god, can the school bully even be made to cry by Yifan? Yifan is also too awesome, and it turns out that the person who can make the school flower lick his boots is no ordinary person. This is the first man to subdue the school bully. I bow in defeat, I am in awe. 666. Hongyi looked at the comments that were all praising Yifan and became very anxious. He had started the live broadcast so that everyone could see Yifan make a fool of himself. Why is it not quite what he imagined? Ding, 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 ding. The phone rang, catching Hongyi off guard. Hongyi subconsciously saw Yifan and the school bully, who had just been chatting, looking over at him. Danger! Hongyi tried to run, but was caught by a few of the school bully's henchmen in a moment. He was even robbed of the phone in his hand. You were taking pictures? The school bully frowned. Yifan, upon seeing Hongyi, began to fan the flames. Does he have a grudge against you and want to trip you up so that he can film you beating someone up, so that the school can expel you more easily? The school bully's face instantly turned black. He had already been criticized by the school several times, and he had already been very honest, but he never expected that there were still bitches out to get him. No, that's not true. Hongyi shook his head, his eyes full of fear. He was only trying to make Yifan look bad, not at all what Yifan thought. The school bully turned off the live broadcast on his phone, dropped it on the ground, and then stomped on it with his shoe. The phone screen immediately shattered. It reflected Hongyi's frightened face. In an instant, the school bully subconsciously grabbed Hongyi by the collar. You brat, today I'll show you that I'm not someone to mess with. As soon as the words left his mouth, a fist slammed hard into Hongyi's nose. Next, Hongyi was surrounded by a group of little brothers, who punched and kicked him. Hongyi convulsed in pain and begged Yifan, who was watching from the sidelines, for help, help, help. Yifan coldly looked at Hongyi's painful appearance and said two words, you deserve it. If you want to trick him, you don't have to look at who he is. Yifan ignored Hongyi's cries for help and left directly. Hongyi was beaten up and was crying and sobbing on the ground. The school bully straightened his clothes and scolded Hongyi, I'll spare your life today, but next time I see you, I'll walk around you, or I'll beat you up every time I see you. Dare to plot against him, you don't want to live anymore. After the bully and his friends stormed off, Hongyi, with tears in his eyes, a bruised face and clenched teeth, hated them with a vengeance. It was all Yifan's fault, otherwise, he wouldn't have been beaten up. He would never let Yifan off the hook. Well, no, don't. Late at night, a girl's moan could be heard in the large room. She had snow-white skin and was wearing a very sheer white nightdress as she lay on the bed. Her elegant and refined face seemed to have dreamed of something terrible, her brows were knitted in worry, and there was fine sweat on her forehead, which had dampened her black hair. Her slender fingers gripped the bedsheet tightly, and she shook her face back and forth, her face pale with fear. Suddenly, two hands rested on her wrists. They were cold to the bone. This completely startled Mushinsi awake. Bang! The light was turned on. Mushinsi saw the boy sitting by the bed. His dark eyes were full of worry, his eyebrows knitted together in a frown, and he looked at Mushinsi and nervously asked, Did you have a nightmare? Mushinsi gasped for air, clearly still in shock. Her hair was disheveled, and her pale complexion made her look pitiful. Why are you here? She asked in shock. I exchanged bodies with you. You had a nightmare, how could I not know? Yifan raised an eyebrow and said matter-of-factly, have some water. Yifan was sleeping next door and felt a heart palpitation, especially being able to feel that feeling of panic. He was afraid that Mushinsi might be in trouble, so he hurried over to check on her and found that she had had a nightmare. Okay. Mushinsi did feel a little dry in the mouth. But her heart was still very panicked. The realistic images in her dreams still made her heart ache. Just thinking about it made her lose control. Seeing Yifan's broad, tall figure made her feel a little safer. She broke free from the nightmare, and the feeling of being bound gradually faded away. Yifan handed Mushinsi some warm water, and Mushinsi already grabbed the glass. When she took a sip, it turned out to be tasteless. As she frowned, a shadow fell. I should drink it so you can feel it. He took her hand and took a small sip. His thin lips were moist and looked a little sexy with the water droplets. Especially when their fingers were interlocked, it made Mushinsi's breath even more disordered and her heart pounding. Mushinsi also tasted the taste of the water, dry and refreshing. Yifan happened to drink from the same place Mushinsi had just drunk from. Her lipstick imprint was still there. It made his ears burn, and a trace of pleasantness and joy from the bottom of his heart rose up. Can you feel it? Yifan stared at Mushinsi intently. Yes. I have it. Mushinsi's bunny was rising and falling back and forth, nervous as hell. Congratulations, host, you have indirectly kissed Mushinsi and earned 500 points. The system reminded him. Yifan closed the panel and looked at Mushinsi. Are you still thirsty? Do you want some more? No thanks. Mushinsi's cheeks were bright red, and she was obviously still a little nervous. She had thought that Yifan would just leave. Who knew that Yifan had simply lain down next to her? What is he going to do? P.S. I beg for gifts. Kneel and beg. Chapter 30, Don't You Dare Call Me Husband. Surrounded by Yifan's unique cedar scent, she was like a frightened little rabbit, her face flushed with excitement. How can you, lie down? You're not going to sleep? Yifan glanced at her sideways and shrugged with a wry smile. How can I sleep when you're like this? The thin sweat on her face had not yet subsided, and she was still a little shocked and disoriented, looking pale. He now felt physically bound to her. Naturally, he felt bad when she was uncomfortable. Mushinsi's round eyes met Yifan's determined gaze. It'll be over soon, I'm used to it. Mushinsi brushed her hair behind her ear. Yifan could feel the softness of her slender fingers as they touched her hair, and he could even smell the pleasant smell of peaches on her. Used to it? Do you have nightmares often? Yifan grasped the point. No. No. Mushinsi retorted excitedly. Are you really not lying? Yifan picked up Mushinsi's chin and said, Why do I feel like you're stonewalling me? Yifan's intuition told him that it wasn't that simple. As a result, Mushinsi exuded a cold and powerful aura, shook off Yifan's hand, and said with a hint of hostility, I said no, I really didn't. She kept her beautiful face cold, but her eyes suddenly turned red. She's so fierce. Yifan watched her pretend to be fierce while rubbing her hands, and couldn't help but smile. Mushinsi bit her lower lip. Yifan had seen through her, but she still refused to give in. Yifan was not the type of person who liked to pursue matters to the end. If Mushinsi refused to say anything, then he would just stop asking. Mushinsi stubbornly turned her face away from Yifan, but then she felt her arm being pulled. In an instant, a force compelled her to stay in a warm embrace. I'll reluctantly coax you to sleep tonight, Yifan said lazily. His hand rested on the back of Mushinsi's head, stroking her soft hair. Congratulations, host, you have unlocked the hug and earned 300 points. A deer seemed to have burrowed into Mushinsi's heart, leaping about. Her face was completely red. He actually hugged her. And in such an ambiguous position. You're molesting me. Mushinsi scowled at him, her face red. Molesting? Are you sure? If I wanted to molest you, would I be so calm and chatting with you right now? Yifan subconsciously wanted to sneak up on her and scare her. Mushinsi was scared and immediately covered her chest with her hands. Don't even think about it. Yifan licked the corner of his lips and couldn't help but laugh. Playing hard to get? Where are you touching me? After understanding the meaning of Yifan's words, Mushinsi's face turned red. After she reacted, she cursed under her breath, pervert. She didn't know what to do with her hands. Putting them on Yifan, she was embarrassed. Putting them on herself, she was even more embarrassed. Men are like this, is that abnormal? Alright, don't be lecherous, I'm the first person to be coaxed to sleep, and you're still embarrassed. Yifan teased, don't think about it, I just want to go to sleep early. He patted Mushinsi's head lightly. I'm not embarrassed. Mushinsi was sometimes flustered and sometimes shy. Anyway, to him, she was a very cute little hedgehog. Yifan glanced at Mushinsi obliquely. He would never believe her. Just look at this face, it's already blushing with shame. Even her lips are red like cherries. Ha, they must be sweet. Then you better go to sleep now, or I'll just take your bed. I don't mind having a pretty young lady to keep me company at night. Yifan arched his lips and gave Mushinsi's chin a little squeeze. Mushinsi instantly felt the smooth touch. Her face grew even more rosy. Keep your hands to yourself. She subconsciously bit Yifan's hand. Yifan didn't react. However, Mu Xinxi was in pain and wanted to cry. After all, the two had exchanged bodily sensations, and Yifan's injury meant pain for Mu Xinxi. Yifan looked down at the back of his hand and saw a row of delicate teeth marks. He kissed the bite mark and said seductively, "So you like it like this?" This little action caught Mu Xinxi's eye, and her fair, translucent skin turned a deep red. "I don't like it at all. Anyway, you should get up quickly and mindfully." Facing Mu Xinxi's command, Yifan was fearless and looked at Mu Xinxi with a smile. "No, I'm not going to get up." "You." Mu Xinxi was about to cry from anger. She couldn't hit him, she couldn't kick him. She just stared at Yifan with her small, sad eyes. She suddenly felt like she had let the wolf into the house. Yifan looked at her pensive little expression, and the more he looked at it, the cuter it seemed. Yifan couldn't wait to see the tearful look on her face when he was done with her. "Ha ha, it's going to be great. Okay, I've coaxed you to sleep, so just go down the stairs." Yifan reached out and gently took her shoulders in his hands, so that she was leaning on his shoulder. "When you fall asleep, I'll go." Mu Xinxi was a little skeptical after hearing his promise. "Is it true? If you don't close your eyes, it's hard to say." Yifan raised his eyes and chin, threatening Mu Xinxi a little. "It seems to have a deterrent effect." Mu Xinxi quickly closed her eyes. Her quiet and flawless little face, leaning towards his body tenderly, made Yifan feel a little happy and sweet. "Sleep, my dear baby, your brother's hands are gently rocking you." Yifan hummed the lullaby to comfort Mu Xinxi. Mu Xinxi didn't open her eyes, but her skin turned even redder. "What are you changing the lyrics for?" "What brother?" "Oh, it's your husband's hands that are gently rocking you." Yifan. Mu Xinxi's eyes snapped open in an instant, her face completely blushing. "What's wrong, honey?" Yifan looked at Mu Xinxi with a smile. "Don't call me that." Mu Xinxi was extremely embarrassed. "What kind of nonsense name is that?" Hey, if you won't let me call you brother, then I'll have to change it." Yifan's eyes rose slightly, smug and pleased with himself. Mu Xinxi was at his mercy, and could only lie back down again. "Whatever else, don't call yourself." "Call myself what?" Yifan asked with a smile. "Husband." Yifan felt tingling all over when he heard this. Mu Xinxi's voice was soft and delicate, especially as she had just cried, and there was a little tremor in it. "Yes, honey," Yifan answered. Mu Xinxi was full of shame. "I'm not talking to you. There's only the two of us in the room, so you can't be hiding a man in the closet, can you?" Yifan teased with a smile.